Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh my word, we have had the most manic morning today. And I must say, actually, we've got an amazing day. We are, as Sewing Street, we are doing a 6-hour show today. So we're going to have you covered all through your lunch break as well. I don't know whether you've seen advertised over on social media or on the adverts. We've got an extra hour, which is going to be broadcast over from our sister channel, Jewellery Maker. So if you're watching on Freeview or on Skype, you should be able to just stay exactly where you are and you'll be able to find it, or head over to Jewellery Maker because it will be broadcast there. But it's our Rebecca Reed and our Neil Garrett who's going to be head to head with our founder, Steve Bennett. It looks like a boxing advert, doesn't it? The mask off. It's going to be brilliant. Absolutely love it. It's our first joint venture, and I must say, I work over on our sister channel, Jewellery Maker, and they are so lovely, and it's such an incredible hobby and craft to get into as well. So for anybody who fancies getting a bit involved with some jewellery making as well as sewing, we've got some exclusive mask panel kits, so face covering kits, which we will also have embellished with some beautiful jewellery beaded chains as well. And it's just going to be hilarious. We will be glued to the telly here. I mean, we're not going to be able to pack anything away or set up tomorrow until the mask off is finished, because we'll be watching it like it. Oh, I'm so excited for that. So Rebecca Reed, I mean, she's here in the building already. She's prepping for that. That's coming up at 12 o'clock. But today, we've got lovely Yvonne, and I must say, isn't she amazing? Yvonne McAtamney is going to be joining me at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And oh my word, her kits, aren't they stunning? We've got the most beautiful brand new kits from Yvonne launching in the next hour at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And also stick around at 9 o'clock if you've never done quilting before, because at 9 o'clock what we're going to do before we launch her kits for today, we're also going to be talking through a really special show that she's going to be doing in the new year. So for anybody who might be a dressmaker or anybody who's literally just ordering their first sewing machine and it's due to come out of the box on Christmas Day, we're going to make sure that everybody's got everything that they need to do their first ever quilting project, a beautiful table runner. And I'll tell you everything that you need to know. So we're selling the kits today for that sew along that will be happening in early January. So that's coming up as well. Now, let's start with the early bird, and I'll tell you what else we've got to look forward to then throughout the show. This is quite shocking. In fact, I haven't done an early bird special like this yet before. So if you want one of the biggest reductions, I mean, this is a Black Friday reduction, and I can't believe that we've managed to be so jammy to be able to get it back. I love this caddy. This is so useful for storing. It's £12. This is supposed to be $19.99. It's supposed to be $19.99, and it will be at $19.99 tomorrow. So now's your chance at just £12 to grab the early bird special. It's definitely worth, those of you that are new to us, tuning in bright and early at 8 o'clock every morning to find out what the early bird is. Also, remember, if you are, I know a lot of people are tuning in, especially at 8 o'clock to see the early bird, to take part in the 12 Days of Christmas event. Remember, if you're shopping, we're at day 9 now, so if you've already done a few days shopping, remember, if you're taking part 6 days over the first 12 days of December, you're eligible for free P&P all of January. What a great Christmas gift as well. Fill it up. You've got a place for your rotary cutters, for your scissors, you put your marking tools, you could put your buttons, you could put your bits and bobs. You've got plenty of space, and I love this print with all of the haberdashery. Absolutely gorgeous. Come say hello on Facebook. We are live on Facebook, and I've got the iPad with the live stream here, so come and say hello to me. Oh, I must say as well, I've had hot squash this morning. Well, I've had a bit of hot squash this morning. I feel really rude that I haven't drank it all, but it made me feel, it was a nostalgic feeling of drinking a cold and flu remedy. And I was like, I'm not poorly, so it makes me feel a bit strange. It was all right, and I know what you mean. It's soothing on the throat, Elliot, isn't it? Whereas Yvonne was telling me orange juice with a bit of honey and hot water, maybe a bit of cognac as well, and that's apparently really, really nice. So I have tried my hot squash now, you'll be pleased to know. Anyway, this is today's early bird special, only £12 for your lovely sewing caddy. And it's good space, isn't it? We were talking yesterday with Susie about getting organised. I've been watching lots of things on Netflix about organising your drawers and your wardrobes and things like that. Everybody since I think this year has been doing a bit of organisation, and this is perfect to just have these on your sewing desk or on your dining table. It's lovely that it's actually really nice to just have anywhere. If you don't have a dedicated craft room and you want to keep your tools nice and handy, you've got the handle that then slots down. So if you do want to pop this into a cupboard or, away out the way, then it absolutely can do. But then if you're travelling, even, in the back of the car, roll up some fabrics in there. Or it could be a little project on the go, couldn't it? Just £12. 0800 001 4433. Or, of course, you can jump in on the web as well. It's only £12, which, remember, this will be going up to $19.99 tomorrow. Very special price point. And it's lovely quality, really lovely quality. It's nice. Not who's there? It is a nice hard case, a nice hard caddy. £12. What do you like, Elliot? Nice great base for a hamper as well, because you get some nice sort of cellophane and a bow, couldn't you? And fill it with some haberdashery bits. Just £12 today. Special price, your sewing caddy notions for less than, at $19.99. It was brilliant. Hello, Alison. Morning, Alison Marion. How are you? Alison's watching, Susan's watching, Anne and Jan, and Trisha are watching. Come say hello on Facebook. How is everybody? Eileen says she can't find us on YouTube this morning. Elliot, that's your department. How is everybody anyway? It's a bit warmer today, isn't it? 5 degrees this morning. Better than -2 it was yesterday. Just £12 today's early bird. As I say, it's going to be a great chance to open your order nice and early because we have got the most amazing day. We're going to make sure that this sells out. We expect it to sell out, so we're going to wait with you to make sure that everybody gets their hands on this. Tomorrow it will be $19.99 today, just £12, special price point. And look at the detail with your little stalk scissors, your EPP hexes. You've got, there was a story, wasn't there? Debbie told me a story of why you have tomatoes as pincushions. I feel like Joe would know that story. There was something about having tomatoes by the door. Oh, I can't remember. Debbie Shaw will know. Debbie Shaw knows. And then you've got little buttons. Oh, and the mandal of a new house to guarantee prosperity and to repel evil spirits. Right, that's where it's sort of thought to believe originated. I was thinking, I wonder why there's always tomato pincushions. I remember Debbie telling me, no, you don't need to get me a tomato for my new house. I haven't said anything yet because it's all sort of cats in the same boat. You just got to keep your fingers crossed, haven't you, that everything goes through. But fingers crossed we'll be in a nice new house in the new year as well. Really exciting. Right, hello, Susan. Oh, right, Eileen, try again. Refresh the page because Elliot says it's definitely working. YouTube's on. Susan said morning, Vix and crew. Kat and Elliot. Oh, Eileen, thank you for letting us know because Elliot's now remembered to press the button and we're on YouTube. Oh, it was live. Oh, it was just private for some reason, so don't know why. Someone's been fiddling with it, but anyway, Eileen, you'll be able to watch it on YouTube now. The only one that fiddles with that button is Elliot. Right, so whilst everybody's checking out, shall I show you what's coming up for the rest of the day? So this first hour, we're just going to have a nice slow morning. We're going to have a bit of hand sewing, embroidery, talking about the lighting. It's still probably dark outside, isn't it? So we'll get everybody all kitted out with some lovely exclusive Sewing Street lighting as well. At 9 o'clock, Random Hearts Quilt with Yvonne, and it's the most beautiful applique project. In fact, actually, do you know what? We've got one kit, but when you start to use it with your random fabrics from home as well, you're going to be able to use the pattern so many times, and it looks really different. So really excited to show you that with Yvonne at 9 o'clock. Get all your messages in for her, because she says, I'm ever so nervous. She says, every time I come in, I'm always nervous. So send her some lovely messages. At 10 o'clock, we have got fabulous, and when I say fabulous, I mean fabulous fabrics. Favourite bundles back in stock. Kat has been working really, really hard. We've got some brand new Liberty fabrics in there as well. Brand new to Sewing Street. Some gorgeous Liberty fabrics as well in that hour. And then at 11 o'clock, Yvonne will be back with us. And we've got, look at these. Oh, ching ching. These kimonos. These are so cool. They are amazing, aren't they? Kimono Placemats, which are amazing colourways, really, really beautiful. Great gifts for people as well. So that's coming up at 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock, it's Yarn Lane. Head over to yarnlane.com or stay where you are on Freeview and Sky to be able to see a brand new technique to Yarn Lane. Punch needle. We haven't seen needle punching or punch needle before, and we're really, really excited. It's a complete beginner show. I'm a complete beginner to this, so I'm going to be asking Sam all of the questions, and we have the expert here. So do get your messages in for Sam. And then, of course, don't forget, it's the mask off between Steve Bennett and Neil, which is really exciting over on Jewelry Maker, so everybody has to watch that. Hi, Teresa. Teresa says, morning. Oh, it's freezing here. She says, your hair looks beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for noticing. She says, I'm glad... Oh, she's glad I tried a little squash. She's glad I tried a little squash. It was all right. It was nice. I'm sorry that I'm not raving about it. Elliot said, I'm going to put the kettle on, do you want a cup of tea? And I was like, oh, actually, I think a tea's more my thing. I do know what you mean, though, about soothing your throat. I think it's one of those things when you just need a bit of a warmer in the morning. I have had about 11 hours sleep. I had the best night's sleep. So Elliot's had a good night's sleep as well. So, yeah, I feel good today. I don't need a hot squash. Anyway... People are buying multiples on the Sewing Caddy, so just be careful because that will sell out this hour. If you want the early bird special today, it's just £12, reduced down from $19.99. Great saving on today's early bird. Now, if you do want to come and say hello, Eileen says, thank you, Elliot. I've got you now. Lisa said, morning, Vicky, travelling to Kent at the moment as a passenger and watching you on the journey. Oh, that's so good, isn't it, that you can watch us on the app? That is brilliant that you can watch us on the app as well. And of course on Facebook and everywhere. So portable now. So if you do want to send in any pictures, any messages to Kat, you can do it via the email address, which is studio@sewingstreet.com, studio@sewingstreet.com. And of course you can always message us on Facebook, Sewing Street TV. That's Sewing Street TV, where we are live on Facebook. I've got the iPad here. Come and say hello. There's the customer service team number as well. It's always at the bottom of your screen. If you do want to have a chat with them about anything, then let us know. Susan says the hot squash sounds nice, but I'll stick with my coffee. Yeah, I must say, yeah, I'm the same. Yvonne was giving us more tips this morning about putting a bit of cognac in there. Maybe not this early in the morning, but yeah, it's lovely to have you company anyway. This feels really nice and jam-packed today, doesn't it? Are you closer? I think you're closer to me. I feel like I'm very close to you. But can you see Yvonne's beautiful quilts? She's kitted. Oh, I mean, they're the most amazing kits. She's put the kits together for us. It's everything that you need, and they are absolutely beautiful. Coming up very, very soon at 9 o'clock. Right, so where shall we start? Where shall we start? Let's start with this because Kat spent so much time putting together a big bundle of threads for us all. Normally, we can't do these. We can't do these as a bundle or individually. So Kat's put together. They normally don't go to air because they're too low in price, if I'm being brutally honest, to go to air individually. It's not worth the airtime. Airtime is expensive, of course. To be in your living room every morning, it costs a lot of money to be on air. So this is, of course, we wouldn't normally show you these, but it's good to be able to know that we have all of these just different colours. And they are DMC. They are DMC. Which Clara Ackerman, in fact, used to work for DMC, and she was saying she wouldn't use any other threads now. They're absolutely beautiful quality stranded cotton. You're getting so many colours in here, and you get 8 meters on each thread. So you've got black, you've got your blue, you've got your purple, red, yellow, orange. This one white, which is like it's like a optic-y, when I say optic, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's like a grey white. It's lovely. Silvery. You've also got another shade of purple there. You've got your tan. You've got 2 different shades of green, 2 different shades of pink. So that's a really lovely bundle. It will last an absolute, well, it will really, really last you. If you are starting out your bit of a stash of hand embroidery, even if you're thinking, do you know what, I don't want to embroider huge sampler quilts, but I'm just thinking just to embellish on clothes or on denim jackets, on jeans, that would be really cool. I absolutely love those colours. They're nice and bright, aren't they? Really nice and bright. Great one to stock up on, especially today, $21.99. It's a brand new bundle of thread. DMC skeins, really, really good quality. Price per skein is amazing. 13 skeins there for £21.99. Brand new bundle in. Brand new bundle, so I thought I'd just let you know about that. So we've got different options of fabrics that you can stitch onto. Now, denims are going to be popular. We're going to start with some linen though first. So this is a lovely colour as well. If you're thinking of dressmaking, if you're thinking of bag making, if you're thinking of stitching on top of this, just using a small part to go into a hoop, and then you can stitch over the top of it, it would look absolutely beautiful. A nice neutral colour, especially when you're using some of these nice bright embroidery skeins as well. £5.99 half metre. Hang on, let me show you how wide this is. £5.99. Oh, I need the metre stick, don't I? You've got extra wide, lovely linen. I know that Catchy made a bag from our linen and it's really nice. It's ever so strong as well, really, really durable indeed. Lovely for little aprons and pinnies and things like that as well. I'm thinking of Alison Marion's Mama and Me. That would be really nice. Or, I mean, I know how much we all love linen clothes as well. Jane Greenoff, she's always in linen, isn't she? And she says, having a pair of trousers or a jacket or a shirt, whether it be for gents as well. This is lovely for a pair of shorts. Elliot, I'm thinking for you. Linen suit. Yeah, I think Elliot's saying I have got a pair of linen shorts. This colour, in fact, actually, they're really nice. This is your stone washed linen. Maybe if you're thinking of going on holiday in 2021, fingers crossed. Oh, Janet. Hi, Janet. How are you? Janet says, morning, Vicky and crew. I love the show. Take care and keep safe. Absolutely. And back to you, Janet. We're so lucky, you know, that we've moved into this new studio because earlier on in the year, we had to do lots of pre-records, didn't we? We had to do, you know, we were lucky that we were able to stay on air. Kat had to learn how to be a director. Like, we were all trying to do a bit of everything, mucking in to be able to keep the show on air. So it's so lovely to be able to be, you know, able to be in the big studio and keep operating. So yeah, don't worry, we're all keeping safe, Janet. But I'm just so relieved that we're all able to keep each other sane. It's been a weird year, hasn't it? So, gosh, it's been the perfect year. Bearing in mind we only launched the show in February. I don't know what any of us would have done without Sewing Street this year. Just £5.99. Right, we've also got 3 different colour denims. Deep blue, medium and light. I love the idea of embroidering onto denim. Let's do the deep blue first. Thinking for winter projects. And I mean, if you are getting into dressmaking, denim, if you are transitioning from, just maybe if you've made light cotton dresses in the summer and you're now thinking of making something autumnal, this is a lovely, lovely denim to sew with as well. This is your 8-ounce medium heavyweight denim. So just make sure that you're using, you know, a good needle in your machine, a denim needle in your machine to go through, because it's quite obviously a thick denim, but it's not too heavy. It's still really, really beautifully soft. Oh, that'll be great for autumn, winter, won't it? That's really nice. Are we officially in winter yet? When is it officially winter? I feel like we are officially winter. Oh, Oh, so the longest day of the year is the 21st of December. The shortest day. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, you know what I mean. The shortest day of the year. So does that make the 21st the start of winter then? Or is that when you start coming out of winter? I don't know. It definitely feels like it's wintry now. £4.99. Kat's doing really well with Siri today. She normally asks Siri everything. Yes, I sent it to you, didn't I? Yeah. Trevor Collins is doing that song with Darren Day, Baby It's Cold Outside. That's Kat's favourite Christmas song. Baby, it's cold outside. Oh no, so Elliot then started asking everybody yesterday, have you watched this? Have you watched this? Have you watched this? Because Susie said she'd never watched Home Alone. I said I'd never watched It's a Wonderful Life yesterday. We were all confessing all of these Christmas films that are classic Christmas films that everybody says they've watched, and we actually haven't. But Elliot has watched all of them. That's your deeper blue. We've also got, have you got your Christmas tree up, Elliot? Medium blue. Oh yeah, they only can have a little one because of the dog. This one's lovely as well, your medium blue. Half a metre. It's just classic denim jeans blue. I think that's going to be one of my New Year's resolutions, is to go on a workshop to learn how to make jeans. I think that's such a useful thing, because jeans are always so difficult to buy to fit you properly, aren't they? Thanks, Kat. She went, yeah, especially when you've got a big bottom. And she said it to me. Thank you. Maybe I do need to go on one of these courses, you've noticed. Or a diet. Thank you, Elliot. Oh my word. It's only 8:20. Already been insulted about 20 times. £4.99. Oh dear. £4.99.5 metre for your medium blue 8-ounce denim. Even for bags, even for, you know, smaller projects, even denim. Have you ever seen quilts? I love rag quilting. Having the seams facing up basically and letting it all fray with the denim. It looks amazing. Rag quilting is so cool. I have a look on Pinterest. There's so many lovely quilts of denim, and you could use old jeans, but if you do just need to supplement a bit more, then this is just £4.99.5 metre. And then the light denim, well, you're just channeling your summer, your this is light denim, isn't it? This is so pretty. This would make a really lovely pinafore, dungarees, or to embroider onto it, again, some of these lovely pastel-y colours, I'm thinking. All of your bundle would go absolutely perfect, in fact, with all of the denims. £21.99 for the embroidery floss bundle. How wide is our denim? 145 wide. 145 wide for your lovely light blue. And I must say, it's ever so soft. You know, sometimes you can think, oh, is it stiff? It's still weighty. It's still got lovely weight to it. A nice structured dress would look lovely. Oh, a smock dress. Yeah, that would look really nice. Just £4.99.5 metre as well. Great value for money. Really great value for money. Okay. We've got a beautiful, beautiful book, and it comes with some DMC skeins, so really lovely quality skeins. They're random colours, randomly selected, that come with it, but you'll definitely get 5 different DMC skeins, and they are lovely, lovely quality. Kew Gardens is just stunning, isn't it? If you've ever been to Kew Gardens, my auntie used to live near there, and it is absolutely beautiful. So to be able to embroider, you've got all of your transfers, all of your patterns in there, your iron-on transfers, And then I just think this is such a gorgeous coffee table book. As a really special gift for somebody. I remember my sister a few years ago, she had a really fancy recipe book, which was from Claridge's, and it's something that's just really special. And I think this is a book that if you're gifting this to a sewer or somebody who loves embroidery, it's one of those that not only is it very practical and it goes through everything that you need, it goes through all of the sort of credentials, everything that you need to start off your preparation, how to mount your work onto the hoop, stitch instructions. So even for beginners, it is very, very in depth. But look at how complex it looks. But with the book, it makes it very achievable. It will talk about how to create that ombre and that shadow effect in all of your petals. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. And I must say, as I say, as a coffee table book, it's one of those that I'd just be flicking through and thinking, right, I just want to try a little bit of that or a little bit of that. You don't have to commit to doing a whole sampler quilt project or a wall hanging. You could just do starter projects at the start of the book. Finding maybe your favourite flowers or wedding flowers. I'm sure they've got all of the flowers in here. They're gorgeous. I mean, there's some incredible, incredible pictures. It isn't all just flowers, though. You've also got some wildlife in here. I think there's some bees. Look at that poppy. See, that is beautiful for anybody who loves poppies, and it's so textured. You just want to touch it, don't you? August flower of the month, of course, is poppy. Magnolia, sorry. Rachel. Rose. Sorry to just shout, Rachel. Rachel! Oh, I just love all the colours. And they do use all the DMC threads. So it'll tell you all of the actual colours from DMC. So you get 5 free skeins, but it might be worth getting Kat's bundle as well with it if you do want to create lots of lovely texture. But it does list all of the different colours for each project. That is stunning. I think for birthday cards, you could do some really beautiful cards that then people have as wall art as well. Yeah, that's all stitched, all individually. I mean, look, you can see how it starts. So you go around the edge and then you fill in the gaps with your thread. And actually, it does say through here exactly what stitches you need to be able to do it. It's incredible, isn't it? It is absolutely incredible. And if you're thinking, right, this is way too advanced for me, I don't know how to do these stitches, you just go back to the front of the book and it's got descriptions and diagrams of how to create each of the stitches which are needed, here we go, that are needed for the book. How to secure your thread, how to do a long and short stitch, guidelines for long and short stitches. So they have all of your instructions throughout as well. £21.99, what a beautiful book. And it comes in this lovely hardcover as well. Who's this? Susie! I know Susie. Susie, if I could, I would. Honestly, I am desperate to show you the 570. I know how much you want it, and there's been such a waiting list for so many people have been messaging us about it, that as soon as we know that we can get more in, we will give you a massive warning. Don't you worry. It's absolutely, there's just a problem at the moment. It isn't just Sewing Street. It isn't just the UK. It's a global problem at the moment with shortage on sewing machines. There's the 450 and there's the 550 in stock, which they're both from the Excellence range, which is the same as 570. But if that's the machine that you've got your heart set on, we will have it back in, but it's just, I can't put a time on when. It definitely won't be before this year's out. I'm virtually, I mean, hopefully, let's hope that we can. But I'm saying we haven't heard anything. So look, the bee as well. We haven't heard anything. So as soon as I know, I'll tell you, Susie. That bee is amazing. Bad Santa, is that the one with Cameron Diaz in? So it's not for kids. That's a favourite film, Susie said. Bad Santa, and which one? Christmas Vacation. I've not seen that one either. I've not seen either of them. Oh my word, I need to do some serious Christmas film watching this year. That is just so textured, isn't it? Filled with beautiful stitches. There's some amazing designs. Absolutely gorgeous. It's all good. Oh, I love that. That's your blackberry. That is gorgeous. Are these like pods? Hang on, there's a butterfly. What are these ones? Pea pods. Ah, I love it. Absolutely love it. There's some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful projects in there. So that is the Q book of embroidered flowers. Inspiring project, and then you do also have your iron-on transfer, so it's not like you're needing to copy out each petal. Yeah. So when in a past life, when we were part of Sewing Quarter, we had so many questions asking for us to get the seat frames in for embroidery, and Hayley, who's our head of TV still now, she was saying that she tried for so long to find these and couldn't get them anywhere. So when these arrived in at Sewing Street, Hayley, honestly, she sent me an email and then she came racing through into the studio and she said, do you know how long I've tried to get these? So for anybody who's been asking, this is such a great solution to doing your stitching on the sofa, but also being hands-free. Great thing about it is you can adjust the height completely. So it all comes sort of flat packed, but it's so easy to put together, isn't it, Elliot? So you can adjust the height right up to here, or you can lower it. I wasn't very good at putting, well, I say I wasn't very good at putting it together. I just forgot to put the washer on. But no, Elliot put it all together for us. And then also, not only can it be height adjustable, so depending on how tall you are, obviously, or how slouchy you are, because I'm always like this. I need to adjust my posture and make sure it's nice and straight. And then also, you can adjust the hoop itself. So it comes with, what size hoop is this? A 10-inch hoop. It comes with a 10-inch hoop. Can't interchange your hoops, I don't think. So it means that you can work on large projects, but also smaller projects on there as well, just if you want to do it on a larger piece of fabric. So basically, you sit on it. You sit on this, which means then you are hands-free to be able to pass your needle back and forth without holding physically onto the frame. You can answer the phone, you can do things, and it's comfortably sitting under your legs. You can sit in the lounge, you can adjust it completely to how you're comfortable, you can move it out the way. It's really, really handy indeed to be able to do all of your stitching from your comfort of your sofa. From the comfort of your sofa, and it's really lovely and smooth. The base itself is quite slim. As you can see, it's quite slim there, so you can sit right on top of it basically, and you're not sitting on something really bulky. But they are fantastic, and we had so many people asking about us getting them in. It's just literally like your normal traditional hoop, ready to go for any large projects. Wow, any size projects really. That's a 10-inch hoop that comes with it. That's your seat frame. We love that one. Absolutely love it. Invaluable to so many hand sewers. Okay, I'll watch that film. I'll watch that film. I think that's the one that Kat's boyfriend watches every year. Teresa, I don't think we stock those. No, I don't think we do stock them. It's worth just going on to the Dukey site potentially. What is it that you're after? No, we don't. We don't have it, sorry. We have other overlockers. We have other sort of sergers or overlockers on the website, but not that one. Right, we also have the table clamp. So that's your seat frame. You can see the difference. It's the same size hoop. This one, though, clamps onto your desk. So it's got quite a nice thick clamp. It has got quite a nice thick clamp on it, so you can fit it onto a nice deep desk. It slots on to your table, or whether it's slimmer, you can adjust it, obviously. You can adjust the height, you can adjust the position, you can pull it right back to be able to tie any knots, or we'll finish the back of it, however you wish. £19.99, so that's your table clamp as well. It just means that you're hands-free, which makes life so much easier. especially if you're working with multiple colours. If you want to do a bit with this colour and then change it up and do some different stitching with another colour, put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, that's perfect. The doorbell goes or the phone rings, you're not in a bit of a pickle. You can just put your needle in and leave it. £19.99 for your table clamp. We also have some handheld hoops. Now, what I like about these as well is that you can use them for aesthetics, like decoration. I've seen so many people who use these to frame their work and hang it up using the hoop. So loads of different sizes. Right, let's fly through these. We'll start with the smallest and work our way up. So lovely little hoop. This would be a nice little, you could even do a Christmas bauble with this. So you could do a lovely little Christmas tree, add some beads as well, bead embroidery, and hang it onto your Christmas tree. I've seen also, if you get a bigger hoop and you do one hoop inside the other like that. So then you put your fabric here and then you just embroider that part and it'll frame it. That would be really, really lovely. So that's the small one, which is your 4-inch hoop. I am thinking for baubles, this would be really, really nice. For small gift projects, just for mini art that you want to put around the bedroom or around your living room, around the home. They're really, really cute, aren't they? Or if you're doing something a lot smaller that just goes onto a pocket, onto a patch pocket or children's wear, back of your jeans or baby garments that you just want to embroider a small motif, do you need a massive cumbersome hoop? This is going to be perfect for really small, lovely projects. So that's your 4-inch. This is your 6-inch. Well, it says 6-inch on the printed actually onto the inside of the hoop. On the thing itself, it says 5.8 inches. It depends whether you're doing it from the outer or the inner diameter. So I'm guessing your inner diameter is 5.8. The actual size of it is 6 inches. £3.99. It's one of those that just add to your order if you've purchased anything. It's only 1p&p all day. Also, if you're thinking, right, actually, I'm getting involved in the 12 Days Christmas event to get free P&P all of January, then, of course, if you are taking part in that, then why not just get yourself an embroidery hoop? And then that's today's orders done. Of course, take advantage of the free the rest of the P&P, the £3.95, one postage and packaging all day long. We have an 8-inch. That's your 6-inch. And then this is your 8-inch, which again, this is probably a really nice classic size to be able to do wall art with, I think. You'll be able to fit most of your designs in it. And don't get me wrong, if it is slightly bigger, you can move it, of course. You can move it away from along the hoop. If you're using it with denim, if you're using it with linen, if you're using it with silks, if you're using it with calico, it's not going to damage your fabric either. Just £5.49. I went to a really fancy bar I was singing at in Nottingham, and they had the whole of the wall just filled with embroidery hoops with art in, and it looked amazing, all stitched work. And now this is your 9.6. 9.6, sorry, ours says 9.4 on the graphics. It says 9.6 here, or 10-inch, so inner or outer diameter. £5.99 for your wooden embroidery hoop. Absolutely gorgeous. And then the largest one, you could hula hoop with this, couldn't you? Kat could with her little tiny waist. 12-inch. 12-inch. Can you hula hoop, Elliot? Oh, I love hula hooping. That's probably my party trick. I can hula hoop for hours. I can just keep doing it, yeah. I used to do it when I was a child, like all the time. My mum was like, Vic, you need to stop, we're having dinner now. And I'd be like, but I've done it for 3 hours on the trot. I can't stop now. I've just got into the motion. We're just doing it on with all my arms and one on my leg, one on my belly. Who is it that does that? There's somebody who did hula hooping all through her song. What's her name? She's, I think, an 80s singer. Message in if you know who I mean. And she was performing at like the Olympics or something, and she was just doing hula hooping the whole time. Oh, who was that messaging? Because it's going to annoy me. This is your 12-inch hoop for just $6.49. Do you know what? I would stock up on a load of them because it depends on what projects you're doing. If you're doing lots of hand sewing and doing lots of embroidery, it is really, really perfect to be able to have those different sizes. Or if you've got even just some of your favourite fabric, just frame some Liberty in there. Just frame some Kaffe. You don't need to hand stitch and put it onto a wall. It will look absolutely amazing. £6.49. Oh, if you're lucky enough to have your own sewing room, I'm thinking for Delphine's new she shed, I'm already sort of designing it for her. We're kitting her out. So if we were to say, actually, we could put one of the whole walls, just fill it with embroidery hoops and some of her favourite fabrics, all her Kaffes and Tulas, and be amazing. So they're all your hoops. Shall we do some more inspiration? So we've done the floral. This one is simply stitched embroidery, and it just gives you a bit more inspiration of what you can do with your embroidery. Because I always think traditional, you might think of wall art, as I said, you might think of smaller projects. But the great thing about this book is that you've got lots of different inspiration and projects to use it within bags and purses. It's a lovely, lovely written book as well. Very, very clear with your instructions. Vases of flowers. Instead of gifting flowers that last a few days, why not stitch somebody their favourite flowers? You could do a really lovely little purses. You could do lovely little brooches, butterflies, feathers are always so sentimental, aren't they? Very symbolic indeed. Putting feathers onto purses and things like that. Oh, that's horrible, Elliot. Elliot's got a zoomed in picture of me and it's horrible. No, don't put it on the telly. Oh dear. They don't have to torment me here. This is your flower medallion. How beautiful is that? That looks very bridal, actually. You could even do it sort of white on white. You could do it with ivory coloured thread or white thread on an ivory background. It'd look absolutely stunning for a wedding. That's flower medallions. Flower medley. That's quite folk arty, isn't it? Very Fiona Hesford. I know how much Cara Ackerman loves embellishing different, not even just solid fabrics, but already patterned prints. If you're looking at a fabric that's already got lemons on it, you could just then, of course, embroider over the top of it, and it gives it lovely, lovely texture. Beetroots. Oh, I love beetroots. I think they're really underrated. I was talking to somebody the other day, I was like, I love beetroot. It's always on my shopping list each week, and everybody's like, really? Oh, it's horrible. It's very good for you, very good for you. Lemons, beetroot, cats. Oh, this is lovely. Look, cat, that is such a cool looking cat. Boys and girls. See, they're so beautiful, aren't they? There's loads. And so this is your sort of directory at the start. Flamingos, that's cool. This is your directory. And then you've also got all of the instructions for each of these. So it's not just a bit of inspiration. You have also got the instructions. So there's so much to work through. It's one of these books, like we were saying with Susie yesterday, actually. I think you'll want to do most of these. It talks to you about if you do want to do it into a purse frame. I think we've got some of the purse frames on the website. Yeah, we have some on the website. It tells you how to do a lazy daisy. It tells you how to, prepare your threads and how to do lots of different stitches, all the stitching that you'll need for the projects, with photographs and step-by-step instructions. Oh, and then, here you go, these are all of your full-size templates. If you do need to upscale any, it'll tell you, but these, as far as I'm aware, look, there you go, full template. So pages 6 to 7, you can go back and forth to find the design that you want to do, and it'll tell you, look, so the petals are made up of lazy daisies and straight stitches. In the centre, it's full of French knots. It's also got the outline, it's got satin stitch, so it will tell you what stitches you're going to need and talk you through how you do them. Also, if you love the exact colours that are used on the pictures at the front, it will tell you what DMC skeins are used. So it's a beautiful, beautiful book, loads of templates, plus you've also got your pattern paper as well. for just £19.49. That's a really lovely book. Again, great Christmas gift idea for somebody. Well, another one that you can just have a bit of a coffee table book and just put some post-it notes of which ones you want to do. We've also got a thread organizer. This is great because you can get really, really organised. It comes with loads of your DMC skeins, all 10 of them. All randomly selected again. Oh my word, you could get a glittery one. I've never seen one, an example that's got a glittery one before. It also comes with 100 paper bobbins. So it means that you can wind your bobbins to look like this. How organised. This is what, I bet this is what Susie Duncan's thread box looks like. She's ever so organised with all of her thread. She says her fabric's in rainbow order, her wardrobe is in rainbow order, so I'm guessing that her threads are as well. This is so gorgeous. And they're really lovely, neat and tidy to be able to store away. Plus there's an extra large space here which you can keep your tape measure, you can keep your stalk scissors. It's quite multi-purpose though, actually. I'm thinking for anybody who does other crafts, or you want to keep your buttons, if you want to keep your sequins or your seed beads, any clips in there. It's got plenty of compartments, but it will easily store away 100 plus of your skeins, your bobbins. So you do get 100 paper bobbins included, like this. Just £9.99. That's a really good price, even just for your skeins. I tell you what, normally DMC skeins are they about £1.79 each, are they? Bearing in mind, we've got 10 free in this bundle. Already looking at the sort of price point that you'd be paying for your skeins, surely. Plus then you're getting your organiser. That is great value for money. If you've got any of the books, absolutely get yourself a nice thread box as well. Because otherwise, you'll get in a bit of a tangle, you'll forget what colours you've got, you can't see what you've got very clearly, whereas this is really, really lovely. Lovely to be able to store all of your threads. Just £9.99. Morning, Tom, you're a bit late today. Bit late. It doesn't say top fan yet, does it? My friend's desperate to become one of our top fans. I said, well, you need to interact more. You need to get up nice and early and be there at 8 o'clock for the early bird. Oh, if you missed the early bird, by the way, there are loads of you that have already checked out on it and it's nearing up selling out. So if you want the organiser, I don't know whether you can see it from there, Elliot. Save me going over. Or do you want me to go over? Elliot can do it. He's got these fancy robot cameras now. It's very close to selling out. It's normally £19.99. It's today just £12, which is for today and today only, while stocks last. I predict it will sell out before 9 o'clock, so if you do want it, the handle folds down as well. It's a lovely hard caddy. Lovely printed notions as well, printed onto the fabric. It's so lovely. So all your EPP bits and bobs would be nice. All your hand sewing bits and bobs. Maybe some fabric in there. Maybe your scissors stash, your marking tools, your friction pens. They're big dividers. You'll be able to fit loads in there, absolutely. Your rotary cutters just to fit all of your haberdashery. £12. Special price. Early birds. For anybody like Tom who's just waking up with us, we'll forgive you. Oh, well, can I just tell you as well, we're actually live for 6 hours today. Extra hour. Not personally me, it's going to be broadcast over from our jewellery maker studio, but Rebecca Reed is going to be there with Neil and Steve Bennett for Dun, 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 Dun. Not a boxing match, although the advert does suggest that they are about to have a fight. They're actually making masks, face coverings with new exclusive kit. They're going head to head. I have never seen Neil sew. I saw him yesterday and I said, have you been having a bit of a practice? Do you want to jump on the machine? Now we're off air. And he was like, no, I'll be fine. I know for a fact Steve Bennett has never sewn either. So it will be hilarious. Please watch. Oh, Elliot knows Steve very well and he said he will have practiced. He'll have hired somebody to, give him tutorial lessons. No, he wouldn't. Yeah, he'll probably be on the dukey. I know he's too busy. He's very, very busy. So it will be hilarious to watch them go head to head. Who are we rooting for? Come on, we've got to be rooting for Neil, haven't we? Oh, I don't know. What do we do? Our founder or our MD? I know that, yeah, I don't think Neil will ever forgive us if we start rooting for Steve. Oh, Elliot's voting for Steve. I know that Hayley has been doing, our marketing manager, on Instagram, who you're rooting for. Let us know on Facebook or on Instagram who you're rooting for. Okay, let's do some more inspiration. This is the most beautiful book. It's called Thread Doodling. This is just so cute. Do you know, for anybody who loves to just sit and doodle when they're on the phone or sit and doodle, they need something to do with their hands. And you're thinking, right, those Kew Garden flowers looked amazing, but maybe they're a little bit out of my, out of my comfort zone. This is so cool. You're still going to have a really, really beautiful professional finish. Lovely to be able to do some great projects that will go in your sewing room as well when they're finished. That would look so, so nice as just a block on a quilt. I mean, you can use these in all of your different projects, whether it's bag making, quilting, and each hexie has got different stitches that you can practice. So you've got seed stitch, pistol stitch, French knots, running stitch, star stitch. You've got lazy daisies, so you've got all of the different projects. The maze is cool, isn't it? And that's only featuring a running stitch, a whipped chain stitch, and a star stitch. How good's that? Hundreds and thousands. They're so lovely. Using nice bright colours. But then again, doing it with like monochrome is going to look completely different, isn't it? Or doing it on a denim. Gathering place. It's like a map, isn't it? That's cool. So you could do it as your own home. Do you know what I mean? If you live somewhere like that. I know that I'm just thinking we've got like a roundabout, and you could almost name the roads, couldn't you? Make it really personal. Rainbow, that's beautiful. Sunshine Valley. Galaxy River. There's some absolutely beautiful designs in here, and I think this is for all ages. If you are wanting to get somebody younger into stitching as well, this would be a really, really lovely one. And these, I'm guessing, are iron-on transfers as well. You've got all of your transfers at the back. Yeah, including reusable iron-on transfers. Now, you'll get a good few uses out of these if you iron them on, but it's not like one of those temporary, remember those sticky tattoos that you'd get and it will come off the sheet. It will stay where it is. So even once all of the iron, when the iron stops transferring them, you'll still be able to trace them out as normal. So, I mean, they're never ending. You'll be able to use these always, whether you're ironing on them on or transferring them by freezer paper or other techniques that you like to use. Kaleidoscope Pool, Ombre Road. There's so many beautiful designs. Plus, again, as always, with really beautiful embroidery books, it's perfect to be able to have all of the stitch directory there at the front of the book. Just as a reference point, I know that even Jane Greenoff, who of course is cross stitch, and she sort of founded the cross stitch guild. She is extremely experienced. She says sometimes I forget how to do certain things. So if there's stitches that you just want to have as a reference point, it's good at the front of these books that you've got those reference points and those stitch directories. Right, so that's your thread doodling book. Now, we launched some fantastic lighting solutions a few weeks ago with lovely Claire from Native Lighting. We have got some of these magnifiers that have also got lights that are from Native Lighting that look amazing in your home, especially in the new black colourways as well. But those of you that are doing any hand embroidery, if you're doing any seed bead work or bead embroidery, or even just, sewing on a button or threading your needle, it can be quite difficult, especially when you're starting to look at these dark nights and you're starting to look at these early, dark mornings and dark afternoons, in fact, actually. So when you say forward, do you mean towards me? It's all right. Just want to be able to show you on the camera. So this bead, for example, is very small. I think it's a little B, isn't it? And then under the magnification, look at how clear that is and how detailed. Oh, it's amazing. What's the magnification on this one, Kat? This is 1.7 times magnification. I haven't even got the light on here, and look at how clear that is. So then, it's also got, if I just spin this round, let me show you. It has got this adjuster here, so I can spin this around and show you. This is your ring light. Now, it's got a little control panel which is on your lead. It plugs into your main. It's got a USB port as well, so you can plug this into your sewing machine if you've got a USB port, into your phone chargers. A lot of new homes as well have got USB ports, or Kat's got a fancy one on a sofa, USB port. This clamps onto your desk, and it can change. Obviously, you've got this really lovely bright light which focuses on a certain part of the table. It's not going to distribute the light everywhere. It's not going to flood the light everywhere. It's just going to give you this lovely focused light. So if I then click this button, which is like a circle arrow, it will change into a cool light. So you've got daylight, you've got cool light, and you've got a mixed light as well. We've got an example of how that changes. Using the right light, when you're doing your colour matching, the top left you can see is your cool light. Warm light is your top right, and then your mix is the bottom one. And it's just really good to be able to have the right light. It means that you're not straining your eyes. It means that you're not putting a bulb that's going to give off lots of heat. It's LED, so it's energy saving as well. You're not having to put on all of your main lights in your house when you're doing just a little bit of sociable sewing, I call it, when you're sitting on the sofa sewing, as opposed to at your machine. These are perfect, but quite equally, you can have this still at your machine. If you're reading instructions or text that's quite small, this is perfect. So then, not only can you change the colours of them, you can also change the brightness. So they're my 3 different colours. And then if I press the plus or minus, I'm going to go minus, it will dim the brightness. And then I can bring it back up as well, just with the click of a button. Now, these are completely exclusive to us. These are exclusive until January. These are exclusive until January, so you can completely tilt it how you want. You can obviously move the arm of the actual light itself and position it how you wish. You can clamp it to a very, very thin table because it's got pads onto the base of. Let me try and line this back up again. Is it a bit too bright? Let's see what it's like with the light. If you are thinking of using this on a very thin table, we had it on a glass table when Claire was here, a very thin glass table, and it made me panic a bit, if I'm honest. But because it's got the felt pads in between the clamp, you're not going to damage your surface. So we've got very, very thick desks here. It's like kitchen worktop thickness desks. And the clamp could even go wider than this. So you've got a really good, a really good depth to your table clamp. I've got to try and pick these up. Or shall I just put them on the surface? But look, again, if you are doing seed beading or bead embroidery, these look like about 15-0s. They are tiny, tiny, tiny. I would never bead with 15-0s normally, but that actually makes it more sort of manageable, doesn't it, when you've got a good magnification. I have been using these in the dressing room to be able to do, I mean, let me show you, they're bigger. These ones are the small ones. If I move it to the side there, then you can see how tiny they are. Can you see? Just about. You can't even see them. They're teeny, teeny, tiny. There's one. There's another. They are so tiny. And then under the magnifying glass, oops. I told you, it's so teeny. You can see the hole there perfectly though, can't you? Really clearly, really easily. £95.99. Now, lots of people were purchasing yesterday their lights. Now, these ones come directly from us. They come with a 2-year warranty from Native Lighting. If you are thinking of investing in some good lighting, I mean, honestly, we can't recommend them enough. They're a new company, and Claire, who set the company up, we're still guaranteeing these before Christmas, by the way. So if you are thinking of a Christmas gift idea, we've got it in black and white. It's worth typing in lighting onto the website and having a look at all of the different lighting available. Had a picture come in from Georgina. Hi, Georgina. So yesterday, Georgina sent us a message saying that she was having her dookie delivered. And I said, please will you send us a picture, Georgina? So she says, I'm over the moon with my dookie sewing machine that was delivered yesterday. After 6 decades of sewing, I know this machine will revitalise my love for sewing. I'm going to get so much joy in learning of just how my dookie, I'm going to get so much joy from learning just how much my dookie can do. Thank you to the Black Friday deal. Made it possible for me to purchase this state of art machine. It is absolutely amazing. I made this Debbie Shaw bag yesterday, and I hope I've done Debbie justice. I'm sure you have, and I love that bee fabric. I'm so happy that we're enabled to help you with the discounts. They were so good on Black Friday, weren't they? For you to be able to get your dream machine, and that will absolutely, that's your end goal, isn't it? Oh, how amazing. Thank you ever so much for your message anyway, Georgina. What are you making today? I bet you can't get off it. Very impressive to do a Debbie Shaw bag the day that you unpack your machine. Very good. So, in a couple of minutes, the quilt behind me is coming up with lovely Yvonne. Do not go anywhere because we've got the most incredible kits. We've also got the kits which we're launching for the sew along. We'll tell you all about it in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Hello, I'm Kerry from Living in Loveliness, and I'm delighted to be part of the Sewing Street team. I'm based in Wolverhampton, and I absolutely love working with fabulous fabrics. In particular, I love working with fat quarters and showing you how to get the most from your scraps. I love bringing communities of sewists together and encouraging people to sew for greater causes. Most recently, we have been sewing for our NHS and key workers. I look forward to bringing you hints, tips and techniques. I'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw from Sewing Street, and these are my 5 top tips for successful sewing. So, number 1, always use a good quality thread. A good quality thread will keep your seams stronger and also help to prevent lint building up inside your sewing machine. Tip number 2, if your project isn't going quite according to plan, put it down, walk away from it, come back again the next day and you'll probably find that things don't seem half as bad as they did. My tip number 3, never throw away your sewing machine manual, always keep it to hand because you're going to find hints and tips, techniques and troubleshooting in that manual. You'll miss it if you lose it. My tip number 4 is to read your pattern instructions before you even cut out your fabric. Different manufacturers of patterns will give you different instructions, different ways of constructing your garments and different seam allowances. So to have a successful garment, you need to follow the instructions precisely. And then tip number 5 is don't give up. Every professional sewer sewed their first seam. Every professional quilter quilted their first quilt. Every professional quilter sewed their first line of wonky stitches and had to get out the quick unpick. That's no different to you. So I hope you find these useful. We'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Yvonne from Village Fabrics, and I'm very pleased to be able to tell you that we have linked up with Sewing Street to bring you an absolute beginner's patchwork and quilting kit. As you can see on the wall behind me, there are 3 different colourways to make a tibble runner. We're going to take you step by step through how to make this from beginning to end. Much more information will be available whenever I'm next on the programme on the 9th of December, and please join whenever we do our live sew along in the new year. See you soon. Hi, I'm Yvonne from Village Fabrics, and I'm very pleased to be able to tell you that we have linked up with Sewing Street to bring you an absolute beginner's patchwork and quilting kit. As you can see on the wall behind me, there are 3 different colourways to make a tibble runner. We're going to take you step by step through how to make this from beginning to end. Much more information will be available whenever I'm next on the programme on the 9th of December. And please join whenever we do our live sew along in the new year. See you soon. January. I promise you, it's the 12th.
Hello, welcome back to Sewing Street. Sorry, we're just all sort of going, right, when is this sew along? Do we know the date? Do we know the date? Do we know the date? So we just wanted to make sure that we were absolutely clear of what we're doing. Now, I'm so pleased that I'm finally getting a show with Yvonne. John and Debbie have been hogging you, haven't they?
Just by chance, it's lovely to meet you. I can't believe how bubbly you are so early in the morning. It takes me a little while to warm up.
They're saying it's annoying, isn't it? It's annoying, Yvonne.
There are some people who just, they bubble early. But, it's you know what? It's a skill.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a skill.
You should see me at about 5 o'clock though. I was in bed at 5:20. I peak too early. Definitely. I'm a morning person. Definitely not any good after 5 p.m. So we saw a little advert going out over the break there that you're going to be doing a sew along. Now you've got lots of experience, years and years and years of experience, but we want to take it back to real basics for anyone who's getting into sewing.
For a number of years, my colleague Linda and myself have taught beginners classes over a weekend.
Okay.
And we really do start this from taking your sewing machine out of the box. So there is nothing to fear. And really, I just want to encourage you on your patchwork and quilting journey and to teach you the basics well.
Okay.
I always equate it to being, when you go to school, you learn how to write and you learn how to print, then you do joined up writing, and by the time you can write, you have developed your own style because you have the skills to do so. I think it's exactly the same when it comes to patchwork and quilting, because you need to start with some straight lines, some squares, then you can move on to triangles, and then you have all your basic skills to do any of the more complex and, well, sort of exciting patchwork that you see, but you've gotten the basics, and that's what the aim of our beginners class has always been, to teach the basics. So it's a bit of a challenge to us now because we can't hold classes.
Absolutely.
So I came up with an idea of, well, let's see if we can do it on the TV. Let's see if we can encourage people to watch and follow.
And sew along whilst you're doing it.
To actually sew along. It's not going to be, sort of Jamie Oliver or that other chap, Ramsey. It's going to be a bit calmer and more enjoyable than that, I think. Less stressful,
but
certainly less stressful.
People can message in during the show.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to do is we're going to launch the kits today. You need to get the kits today. So the first colourway that we're going to do, and it's to make a really beautiful table runner. So it's achievable as well. It's not like you're saying, right, this is a first project, you're going to do a 60-inch square quilt. This is something that is achievable.
You can actually complete this from start to finish. I could do this in an afternoon.
Okay.
So if you are a beginner, that means that you will be able to do it in a day, let's say, with some breaks in between. But what we're going to do is to, as with everything else, we're going to divide it up into sensible size slices for you. So whenever you buy the kit, you're going to get a link to a video of me. Sorry, folks, but yeah, it's me. And actually, it's quite frightening, I think, to think of me on rerun, on record, But anyway, we're going to start by showing you what's in the kit, what you do with what's in the kit, and how you do your cutting out. That means you'll be all up and ready for the sew along in January. Also, we're going to talk through ideas for how you would quilt and show you how to bind the table runner. Of course, it doesn't have to be a table runner. I've seen people hang this on the wall. It hangs over my dressing table. I have one of these at home.
Absolutely.
So it's wherever you want it to be.
And $45.99 will tell you exactly what you're getting in a kit. But what I think for a lot of people, especially this year, I've had so many friends who have wanted to start sewing and have been saying they've had more time getting into sewing, or people who have found us over the last couple of months and have said to us, right, I'm getting into it, or I'm a dressmaker and I want to get into quilting. Well, great gift idea for somebody that has been nagging you, saying, show me how to do this, show me how to do this. You can say, right, I've got you the kit. You'll get a video link that comes through beforehand. So over the sort of festive period, you'll be able to get yourself nice and organised so you can sit down ready on the 12th, on the...
Tuesday.
The Tuesday.
I think it's a Tuesday, the 12th.
Okay.
That's the day I'm coming along.
Okay, that's the day you're going to be here. The 12th of January, you'll be able to watch along and sew along with Yvonne. So this is the blue and yellow colourway. We've got 4 different colourways. So what is it that you get in the kits, Yvonne?
Well, you have a picture and you have a very comprehensive set of instructions. There are 7 pages of instructions. That you must read the instructions.
Yeah.
But what we've then done is to make sure that you don't have to go and try and find something that might not be too easy for you to find, or maybe you're not comfortable going out shopping yet. So we have the fabrics that you're going to use on the front. So you have, in this instance, that nice sunshiny colour for the stars. You then have your background fabric. You have your grey contrast colour, you have your contrast colour, your binding. We've also included your backing.
Oh, brilliant.
And tucked in there is the wadding as well.
So everything.
Absolutely everything. You've got a lovely quality wadding in there. It's a 70-30 cotton polyester mix, recycled, so I'm very pleased with we're promoting that. So those are your basic materials, but we've then gone a little step further and we have included a thread which you will piece with. So that's whenever you just join 2 pieces of fabric together, and that's a Gutermann thread. In this instance, it's a light grey. We also have included a Mettler quilting thread. Now, quilting threads have longer staple fibres in them, so they are smoother and they're a little bit thicker. And we also, because we like to make sure that you actually change your needle before you start a project. You should change a needle in your sewing machine after about 8 hours of stitching.
Okay.
We'll show you how to change a needle in a sewing machine. That's how basic we're going to be, so there is no need to fear any of this. I'm going to hold your hand right the way through the beginning of this journey. This is a size 80 needle and will fit any sewing machine. You have a pack of these, so you have 5. So going forward, you're all set up for the size of needle you should be using. And then the very last thing, and it's something that I'm rather naughty and don't do, we have included a label.
Oh, especially if this is your first project, definitely label it.
You absolutely, it's only after you're sort of a couple of years in, you realise, why didn't I put a label on there so I know which year I did it? You don't have to say very much, just, you know, sew along with Sewing Street 2021.
Oh, perfect.
Something like that. We've even included a hand sewing needle for finishing off. So I've put in everything that I could possibly think of to allow you to make this a comprehensive gift to give to someone, or everything that you need if you haven't got a supply shop to hand.
That's perfect, isn't it? Because it is a bit of a faff sometimes. You know, if you're thinking, like the same when you're going to a shop and getting ingredients, you're watching it and you're thinking, right, I haven't got that ingredient, I haven't got that. Where do I get it from? Like you say, it's perfect. We don't all have a haberdashery shop on our doorsteps. So you've got it all in a kit ready to go. So that is your quite contemporary colourway actually, isn't it?
This is the one that we've deemed to be the modern one.
Okay.
So I think it's really quite minimalist, maybe a little bit masculine. So it sort of does the sun or the, you know.
Absolutely. This one is one of my favourites. Just, by the way, sorry, for those of you that are experiencing any problems on the website, please, please, please call the customer service team. It's a free customer service team number. They're lovely. They're literally only down the road from us here. So if you are experiencing problems, please do call them. This one is, again, absolutely beautiful. It's quite a vintagey feel to this one.
That was the feel I was going for, so that's good. Very pleased that these colours just sing for me. These are my kind of colours, this duck egg and petrol kind of colour. Again, you have your wadding, your backing, your binding, in this instance you have a white background. You've got lovely little flowers and your stars and your contrast for your 9 patch, this lovely coral colour. And look, we've got lovely vintage labels.
Oh, love it.
It's got little roses down the side of this one, and this one's actually got some lines on, which might make life a little easier for putting a message on. Again, there's a sewing needle. The sewing needle that we've popped in is an embroidery one, so it's got a big eye, ladies.
Oh,
okay,
good.
It's got a big eye. In this instance, we have changed the colour of the thread so that we're going to really coordinate. Again, we have our Gutermann cotton for our piecing and a Mettler cotton for quilting. But as I say, we've coordinated these. We had grey for the modern one. These are the sort of duck eggy coloured ones.
Yeah, because we don't all have, if you're starting out, you don't have a big stash of different coloured threads, and you want to be able to match it in. And as Yvonne said, this is going to be a beginner's class and a beginner's workshop. But learning the skills right from day dot, not getting into bad habits and using poor quality threads or waddings.
Oh, don't get me started on poor quality thread. You've really, there are certain things that it's worth spending your money on. Mm-hmm. You've spent a lot of money on a sewing machine. There is no point in putting, Poundland, other shops are available, thread onto your really expensive sewing machine. It just puts so much dust and lint and it's uneven thread. No, just trust me, go for a good quality thread.
Brilliant. Don't forget to put 12th of January into your diary as well, because that's when we'll be doing the sew along. You will also get, of course, the link before of how to get started, how to cut your fabrics, so that we're all ready, because it is going to take slightly longer than an hour to do it. So you will get in fact, you're filming that later today, aren't you?
If I'm still standing, yes.
Yeah. We've also got this colourway, 4 different kits. We've got 2 more to go. This one is, again, really beautiful. Bit festive, Yvonne, actually.
Well, red and green, it's quite traditional.
Yeah.
I always think sort of country with this one. This potentially is my least favourite. I think we're coming to my favourite one last. But this works into so many people's dining rooms or their homes.
Yeah, traditional colourways.
Absolutely. So again, there's this lovely quality wadding, your backing fabric, your binding fabric, your first contrast, your background, the lovely red for the star, and this is a bigger label. This means if your handwriting's a little bit bigger, you can fit in there.
Oh, that's lovely.
Isn't that lovely?
I love that it's all complementing. You haven't just stuck the same label in each. They're all complementing labels.
Oh no, this took some time.
Yeah.
This took some time. And in this instance, our coordinating threads are sort of beigey light browns. Again, the cotton for the piecing and the slightly thicker one for the quilting.
Attention to detail. Plus your machine needles, all included.
Plus, yep.
How good is that?
And of course, lots of instructions, so you don't have to just rely on what you see.
Yeah.
You have you have diagrams as well as words, so you've got really good options as to how you want to go through this by yourself after you've watched the videos. So
we've done this at the right time, because I think a lot of people, we're going through a bit of a national shortage of sewing machines because everybody is getting into sewing, starting a new craft and hobby. So if you are maybe opening up a new sewing machine Christmas Day, this is going to be the perfect project to sew along.
what a thrill.
Especially as, I must say, my patchwork and quilting classes when I first started sewing were invaluable to me. So it's lovely to be able to have that sew-along show, to be able to sit down and do it all together, message in on Facebook any questions. Now, are you ready? Because I think this one is going to fly out. Just so you know, the app is working. The phone lines are working absolutely fine. They're free to call. It's just, I think people are struggling to be able to check out on their baskets on the web, which is a shame. I'll keep you updated, and our technical team are aware of it. We can see your baskets filling up. We wondered why someone had 25 in their baskets. You couldn't see that you had 25 in your basket at home. So yeah, we are aware of the problem. But speak to the team or download the app. The app is brilliant anyway. Once you've downloaded the app anyway, it will tell you that your basket is full. So, right. This is the batik option. Now, beginners and batik fabrics, are we still going to be able to have all the same rules apply using batiks?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I find them possibly easier to use than normal fabric because the weave is tighter, so it doesn't fray as quickly, and it stays where you put it. All things that are really very useful for patchworking. So again, lovely wadding, a backing fabric. It's this nice pale green. Just don't be confused. The samples all have calico on the back of them, just so that you can see the quilting on the back more easily.
Ah, brilliant.
You see, there was method in the madness. So again, what we've done this time round is that what we would consider the background fabric is the green fabric here. So you've got a different dimension to the runner in this instance, because you've got in the dark as your background fabric. Then you've got this lovely, the blue is for the binding, which is just bringing the colour from the centre out to the edge. And then the contrast fabric is here. Lovely bright lemon stars and the patchwork for the 9 patch. Another nice pretty label, and the needle again. This time your threads are shades of green to coordinate your piecing one and your quilting one.
And this is your favourite?
This is my favourite one because it's just a little bit different.
Chris, just so you know, Chris has just put, as the modding kit sold out? No, don't worry. I know that you're saying you can't seem to add it to your basket. Go onto the app or speak to the team, which is there. Our team are on it behind the scenes. The tech team are on it. But the only way that you can check out on any of these kits at the moment is on the app or on the phone. Here's the phone number if you do want to call the customer service team. Everybody who's got it in their baskets do check out, because we can see baskets. Then we've sold out. So please do make sure that you're calling and checking out, because I know everybody who's got it in their basket in the web is struggling to see that they've got it in their basket on the web. Sorry, I hope that's made it a little clearer. Please do speak to the team. Sorry about that. We don't want anybody to miss this, because we've never done anything else like it, and we're really, really excited to do a full sew along for beginners. I think the website's a bit overwhelmed and has said, actually, no, can't handle this at this time in the morning. So bear with us. If you're watching on a replay, it's definitely worth trying to see whether you can check out now on the web or speak to the team alternatively. But they're all so beautiful, all different as well, all very different. Something for everyone.
Yeah, that was the thought process, because, you know, I very much like the batik one. You like the vintage one. Yeah. There are obviously people liking the modern one, yeah. You know. So it's really just trying to encourage people to do something practical, do something with your hands. It's a great way to relax your brain. And it's also a great way to meet a lot of very nice people.
Oh, well, I must say, it comes with a bit of an addiction warning as well, doesn't it?
It does. It truly does. But you're never lonely whenever you have a needle in your hand.
That's it, absolutely. It's a lovely community to join. Hi, Mandy in Basingstoke. She said, I started my sewing journey with this table runner at Village Fabrics. Yep. So every day now, she says, Village Fabric is amazing. That's from Mandy.
That's very kind of you, Mandy. Yeah, well, it's what we try and do. You know, we greet people by their Christian name as they come through the door. They're not just customers, as, you know, from a social point of view. the sewing community is a really friendly place to be able to work in.
I love that.
It's just wonderful,
Makes
you
a
know.
difference, doesn't it, when you're starting a new hobby or a new craft? It can be quite daunting, and
People are very giving of their time.
Yeah.
And, you know, people's time is precious.
yeah, you're right. Especially after the year that we've had, I think we've all changed our mindset a bit, haven't we? So today's project, right? We have got to get a bit of a shimmy on because this project is absolutely beautiful. And those of you that know Yvonne and have seen Yvonne before, you know how beautifully she kits the bundles together for you. Now, this is the Random Hearts quilt. How gorgeous is this, Yvonne? We love your kits. You can tell the love and the time that has gone into bundling them.
I love this. It's a take on a log cabin design.
Okay.
Log cabins are obviously a very traditional design. They are not the easiest block to start with, one would have to say, but we do think that this is very achievable.
So adventurous beginners, and maybe not your
Yes.
first project, but then
It's not too big, which means that, you know, you take your time, don't rush, and you will be fine. Again, I've got a really comprehensive set of instructions. The colorway for this design was created from the border fabric. So you have your border fabric. You then have 9 coordinating fabrics.
oh, and they're stunning quality, Yvonne.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I can feel the quality. They're so beautifully soft.
we don't
Don't skimp on those.
we don't.
The border fabric is beautiful.
And the colours that are in there have allowed us to pick out those sort of nice golden colours, the pale blues, the darker blues, and to coordinate 9 fabrics with the border. And we have this lovely linen texture, sort of eggshell kind of colour, I suppose, for the centre.
Oh yeah, it's not a solid colour. It's got a
No.
bit of texture to it.
Now, solid colours can look very flat, and if you put lots of nice other fabrics in, a flat fabric just pulls the whole thing down.
Well, you've done that hard work for everybody. You've thought about the different scales of prints, the different colours that are going to work together, and you've got the cuts
Yeah,
to be
absolutely.
able to do it.
Yeah.
So the whole kit together, just so you know, Chris, I'm so pleased you managed to get it. He said thanks Vicky, I've just used the app to buy it. I had 12 in my basket. Just so you know, with this one as well, you need to speak to the team or use the app. Sorry about the website, we are aware of the problem. The app is brilliant. You'll see it straight away as soon as you go onto it. It will say how many you've got in your basket. So don't forget to take those out as well and just get the ones that you want. Now the finished size of it, as Yvonne said, it's really achievable size, and especially if you've got a smaller machine, it could be quite cumbersome to quilt big quilts.
It can be.
This is 38 by 46 inches.
Well, this is ideal as a cut quilt. And perhaps these colours wouldn't work for a baby, but as you're going to show, there is a pattern available. But this I just think is lovely as a wall hanging, or you can throw it over the back of the sofa.
Yeah.
As always, we have comprehensive instructions.
You can see here all of your cutting instructions, your assembly instructions. It's got a plique in there as well, hasn't it? And you've got your templates.
Full size.
So no needing to upscale and use your printer for that.
I don't do that. I find that very irritating myself, so it's something that we don't do.
So you've done everything for us.
Again, I try. The one thing I would just like to say, to get the randomness going through here, which each of the blocks has one log of each of the 9 colours.
Mm-hmm.
The instructions on the first sheet for the cutting of the fabric are very specific to tell you how to cut out enough of each length so that you don't run out of fabric, and you have enough fabrics to put one of each pattern in each block. So read it through carefully. From the 9 coordinating fabrics, cut 3 fabrics with the fabric, and then with these strips you then cut this list.
Right.
And we found the easiest way to do this, and we've told you what it is in that next little paragraph. So that, read through, take it easy, think about it during the day without a glass of wine, and it'll be fine.
Now that's the only colourway that we have, but if you were thinking of doing it in a different colourway with maybe fabrics that you've got at home, we've got as well a pattern which you've also added some bonus applique templates, haven't you, Yvonne?
We have.
So in here, it's the same, it's similar size, it's 37 by 45. And again, it's got all of your cutting instructions, all of your assembly instructions, any reference points that you need. Plus, you then have your applique hearts instructions, but then alternatively, you could do it with flowers or you could do it with birds. Now, there's instructions for all of them. And plus you've got your inserts, your borders, your quilting, your binding, instructions, very comprehensive, plus your full size templates. Yeah. And can I show you how different they look? So when you start to change the applique, you could do something like this. So these are your, in fact, we've got photographs as well, haven't we? Elliot was very busy this morning, Yvonne.
He was doing a grand job.
And it's really, really lovely a flower that you're obviously going to be able to use for so many different projects, but just changing it from the heart to the sort of randomly placed applique flowers looks beautiful with those pinks. Absolutely beautiful. And I know so many of us have got a big stash of fabric. So if you love the design, but you're thinking, oh, I've got colours in mind that will suit a certain decor, or I bought that Liberty recently, this would be perfect. So your pattern itself is just £12, brilliant value, or with the birds, which is your favourite.
This is my favourite one, so I don't know if well, you can see a bit of it here, yeah, that way.
I think Elliot's got a photograph
I think
of it
so.
anyway. But the birds are absolutely beautiful, and this colourway again more sort of
a bit modern, a bit more contemporary, and this particular one. If I just put that down there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
The difference with this one is that this has a little insert. So it's a little 1/4 of an inch insert of that red. So you've just got that little pop. So you've got the little red beaks on the birds, and then you come to that little pop of colour just round the edge. It doesn't affect the size of the quilt because it is just a little insert there. The other thing of interest across all of these quilts is that I've got peel bindings. Now, I normally always put a dark binding round the edges of my quilts. I kind of think of it as a full stop to the border. But with each of these, we have a peel border and binding, and it works so well.
It does. It really does.
And it provides a little bit of a frame, but just something a little bit different.
Love those, absolutely love them. Don't forget, use the app or call the call centre. I'm ever so sorry, I sound like a broken record, but I just don't want anyone to miss these kits and the instructions because there are so many of you. I can see I've tried to put it into your basket. Just be careful, make sure you're speaking to the customer service team or jump in on the app. That is definitely going to be the quickest and easiest way to get these. So we're going to go back to the kit, which is your random heart. So you get your applique, you get everything that you need. You might need to add some bonder web, which we've all got in our stash, haven't we? We were saying you've always got a roll.
I've always gotten some at home, and you don't need very much because it really depends on how many hearts you want to put on.
Right.
So
you haven't put them into every centre square of the log
well,
cabins?
some of the ones you have over there. There's one in each of them. But here, I think we've put 8 on, 2, 4, 6. There's only 8 hearts there. Yeah. It's up to you. And of course, they don't all have to be the same colour. You could, of course, needle turn them because you can apply them onto the individual squares before you join them together. So if you want to hand sew, that would be an option for you. But what I thought I might do was just to lay out a block for you here.
Lovely.
And show you that we have given you the piecing sequence in the pattern, obviously. And of course these don't fit at the moment because this is all about seam allowances.
So how do you get yourself organised, Yvonne? Because I think when you're starting a project, you've got to sort of organise your fabrics, haven't you?
When you do your cutting, you pop all of your piece 1s, piece 2s, piece 3s, piece 4s, 5, all in a row in front of you, and then you just pick one up at a time.
Yeah.
And that allows you to get all of the randomness going on. Now, I do try to be random, but I do find random very difficult.
Lots of quilters do actually, don't they?
It's not an easy thing. So I have options at this point. Perhaps I can start sewing a block, or I can show you what we've done to create the randomness for the hearts.
Well, we'll start sewing a block and then we'll come to the hearts.
Yeah, because with log cabin blocks, you must make sure that everything fits as you go. It's really important to make sure that you have your machine set up for a 1/4 of an inch seam and sew that seam consistently.
Okay.
Because otherwise the rectangle will become a square.
Right.
Or some shape that it is not supposed to be.
Any tips on making sure that you're a 1/4 of an inch?
Yes, many, to be honest. Set the machine up, measure it.
So do a little sample and check.
Well, actually, whenever, let me just sew this seam along here, because I believe I have set up at a 1/4 of an inch. And so what I've done is I've sewn piece 1 onto the centre. So my piece 2, which is here, whenever I press this open, because I've cut this to the right size, if this doesn't fit this, something's not right.
Right.
Okay? And this is where you don't get a pair of scissors and just trim that bit off. You sort out what the problem might be. Need to press. Now, pressing is not ironing.
Yeah, there's a big difference, isn't there? That's
Thankfully, because I hate ironing.
Yes. Yeah,
So I always press from the front, always. And I'm pressing to the log each time. So if I turn that over, you can see what the back of that looks like.
Right. So does that mean that you always put the log on the top basically and press out?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
I always sew with it on top. I don't normally use steam. Steam's my glasses up, to add to the general confusion this morning. So that's the centre, piece 1. Now piece 2 fits.
Fits perfectly.
If that hadn't fitted, you would needed to have gone back and checked this seam.
Okay.
There is no point in continuing and making the problem more difficult to resolve.
Do you go around in a clockwise direction?
Yes, in this instance you do.
Okay. Website's working. Yes, go, 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 go.
Yeah, thank goodness for that. Technology is wonderful when it works, isn't it?
Oh, I know, technology, eh? Right, just so you know, if you are going onto your website, don't be alarmed if you've managed to put 80 in your basket and you didn't realise. Go back through, have a look at any of the sew-along kits that we started the show with, the Random Hearts kit, and of course the Random Hearts pattern on its own. They're all there on the website now and you can add to your basket. I'll update you on stock in a moment. Okay. Thanks, Yvonne.
Oh, gave me the chance to sew a seam. So again, at home, I would be set up with my ironing board very close to my sewing machine. Sometimes I actually set it a little bit further away.
Get your steps in.
Get my steps in. Well, just to stretch your shoulders, and it's just good.
Oh, I like to set myself a little station up. It's good to be able to have everything there handy, isn't it? But I do know some of our designers who come in and they on purpose put their sewing machine away from their ironing board to get their steps in.
So centre 1, 2. So I'm now going up that side, and again, all is well. Everything is matching.
You're not pinning, Yvonne?
I'm not in this instance because it's quite short at this time. the one thing that I would suggest pinning to keep this seam allowance flat is whenever your seam allowance is going the wrong way, if you know what I mean, for sewing. So I would pop one pin in there. I'm going to hold it down here, and if you feel uncomfortable, pin. I just don't think this is long enough to pin at this point.
And the quality of the fabrics that you put into the kits as well, they seem to behave themselves. They're not going to be, they're not flimsy.
They're not, and
lovely
they
quality
are
quilting
all the
cottons.
same weight,
Okay.
which also helps. Sometimes whenever you have different fabrics from different manufacturers, you do have to consider the thread count.
So where is your shop, Yvonne? Because everyone talks so fondly of your store. So if anybody's local.
Well, it's in the market town of Wallingford. We're on the River Thames.
Oh, lovely.
So that's Oxfordshire. We've been there for a very long time. I've owned it for the last, let me think, 19 years.
Oh, wow.
19, 20. Let's not dwell. So there, I say we have a block diagram. Keep referring back to it. So again,
And you've numbered it, haven't you, as well? So you can see which ones that you need to go to next, because that was going to be one of my questions actually. If you're doing a log cabin, the phone rings or something, you come back to it. How do you know which one to do next?
Because everything has been numbered.
Yes, thank you.
And the number is the piecing sequence.
Okay.
So,
Perfect. Yeah.
you
So
know,
you go 1, 2, 3, 4, piece
5.
5, piece 6, piece 7, piece 8.
And the only thing that you can do incorrectly is to start wrong.
Okay.
You know, you can start, if you start with piece number 1 on the side that piece number 3 is, then you're going to go the opposite way round. But
you've avoided that by doing a block diagram with numbers.
I do try, you know,
Thank you.
because we do all of our own design work. Either Linda or myself designs and makes everything that we sell in our shop by way of kits and patterns. So I know what I'm trying to achieve, because I sew it and then I think, right, how do I tell somebody how to do this?
And I suppose with your workshops, you've got a lot of experience with people asking you, hang on, all these questions that you then answer in the instructions.
Absolutely. And you know, there's sometimes you think, well, I don't know what more I can say, but we do our best to make sure that we are holding your hand. If you do have any problems, we are just at the end of the telephone line, and our contact details are inside our kits. So we sometimes make mistakes. We're not perfect, but we do always try and resolve any issues that you may come up with.
And this is the great thing about doing the sew along as well, is for anybody who is craving those workshops that we really, really miss, that we haven't been able to go to this year, it's definitely worth getting those sew along kits that we launched at the start of the hour. We've got all of the different colourways, the vintage, the modern, the traditional, the batiks. Of course, you're a bit of a trendsetter, Yvonne. The batik's the most popular.
Well, you know, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with that, because Elliot likes it as well, and we were a bit worried, weren't we?
We were when we found out that it was Elliot's favourite. I was like, don't tell them on air. All I talk about is Elliot's poor taste in his gold hot pants and things like this. Hello, Alison. Can I just read this message from her? She says, we took our narrowboat on the Thames last summer and moored at Wallingford. Your shop, Yvonne, is the best I've ever been in. And that's from Alison Marion, who's one of our designers.
Oh, that's so kind. So kind. Thank you.
And Alison Marion, I bet she's been around. She's been in a lot of shops. Oh, by the way, look at this. I've got antlers. Thank you for spotting that. I don't know how I've positioned myself perfectly into this quilt. Yes, very festive.
Well, we enjoy what we do. And I think that really shows.
It does, and it shows when you unpack your kit at home. Everything, the presentation of how it's packaged. When you open it, you can tell the care and the detail. The scales of print have been thought about. The quality of the fabrics, the cuts, the placements, everything is done for you. Plus all of your very comprehensive instructions. Your main graphic is for the kit. The side graphic is just for the pattern alone, which you will also get additional applique templates for the flowers and for the birds. You can now check out on the website. Sorry to be shouting at you. I need one of those megaphones to just shout from the rooftops, because we had half an hour of fear then. There were loads of people who we could see were adding it to their basket. So you can now go back to the web and you can check out on the website. Fab. Well done, tech team. They were on it, weren't they? Quick and speedy with that. Thank you ever so much.
Okay, that was piece number 6, so we are getting there. We just have another 2 to go. And whenever you have cut all your logs out, you will have some pieces left.
Okay.
And I don't like to waste things, so that is how we came to create the random hearts.
Oh, that's lovely. So like you say, I mean, yeah, never throw anything away. You can always even cover buttons with them. We've always got lots of little bits.
Absolutely.
Now this one's slightly longer, so you are pinning at this point.
And again, I'm simply pinning where if I turn it over, I'm just pinning where the seam allowances are, so I'll make sure that they stay flat. It's really important to keep those seam allowances flat for whenever you come to do the quilting. If you're going to stitch in the ditch or a 1/4 of an inch away from any of the logs, if your seam allowances are flat, it makes the quilting much easier.
Like you say, pressing is very different to ironing, and pressing is so important. It's almost as important as your sewing machine, isn't it, Yvonne?
Yes, couldn't agree more, because you can distort the shape or the size tremendously. You know, whenever you apply steam to something, you can change its size by about a 1/2 inch.
Oh, really?
In, you know, if necessity demands, you can use steam to your advantage. But
no, have a dry iron.
I have a dry iron, and if I'm very lucky, I have one of my daughters do the pressing for me. So, well,
I'm not sure how we turn it off on this one. I would tell you which button, but this is a new iron. But there's
I'm just being being fast.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get the chance to do anything. And I say it's not good for the glasses, really isn't good for the glasses. Gosh, you know, it's bad enough whenever you're out and your glasses steam up because you have your mask on.
Oh, I know, yes.
Never mind, you know, steam iron in the mix as well. So all I'm doing is I'm putting a couple of pins in through the seam allowances, and I've been very fortunate that all of these pieces have fitted.
So is your shop open at the moment then?
Yeah,
oh,
we opened again last Thursday, and let's see, today is Wednesday, so Joe will be in, Rosie will be in, Nicola will be in. Nicola is the one who generally packs all these kits up for me.
Oh, she does a great job.
And
they look lovely.
Rosie is the one who does the diagrams. Linda helped me sew some of these samples for this show, so it really is a team effort.
I love that. Who's that, sorry? Julie, refresh your page. Have a go just refreshing your page, or go back onto the website. Or if you're having any problems, speak to the customer service team. But as far as we're aware, all the website issues are now fixed. The gremlins have gone. If you are still struggling to check out, I'd suggest calling the customer service team, who are lovely. They're ready there to speak to you.
So that is a block made in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, and whilst we've been chatting away as well.
So I now have...
How many blocks are there? So how many times do we need to do that?
16. 16, I think.
Yeah.
So I now have 3 blocks. Let me move this out of the way. The construction, once you have made this, is to sew into rows. So I haven't got a full row here, but you're going to go 4 across to create a row. You do need to make all of them before you join the rows together, because you still want to be random. So you don't want that to be beside that.
Ah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So make them all up and make sure you haven't got 2 fabrics next to each other.
If you have a design wall, use it. Otherwise, on the carpet, stand on the sofa, look down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had taking a photograph helps as well. If you take a picture on your phone, you see it so much clearer because you can be looking at something so long going, right,
And
can't see it
especially anymore.
if
you go onto grayscale, so it's just black and white, so you can see if you've gotten any big patches of dark.
Ah, that's a good tip.
As opposed to, you know, all the lights in one place. All I've done on this piece of Bondi web is to trace around the full-size template that is in your pattern.
Is that including your seam allowance?
For our heart, we are just going to bond it on, so we don't need a seam allowance, unless you're going to needle turn it. And if you're going to needle turn it, you might just have a smaller heart. The choice is yours then.
Have you drawn it onto the rough or the smooth side?
Paper side.
Paper side.
Paper side. Rough side to wrong side. So rough side to the wrong side of your fabric.
Okay.
I've done 3 here, but the fun of this is where you actually position this heart. What I've done is the little leftover pieces that I had at the ends of cutting my logs out, I've sewn a couple of them together and 3 of them together. And what I can do now is position my heart at whatever angle I fancy.
Oh, nice. So it makes it quite a scrappy heart.
Yeah, I can put, well, let me do it on, this is going to go on the wrong side, but look, I can put it across there and I get 3 pieces across my heart, yeah? At sort of jaunty angles. I can put it on straight, so I have one solid piece down the middle.
Yeah.
I can even go, yeah, I could join all of those together and get even more stripes across.
Yeah, absolutely.
So each one that you do can be totally individual.
I love that.
The one that I've made earlier.
So do I need to cut, you know, the one that you've done, you haven't cut it out right to the line on the Bondi web?
No, and I won't until I have applied it onto my background.
Okay.
This is where, again, you need to be sure that your seam allowances are flat, because the bonding needs to really keep this flat. So I'm going to apply a little bit of, now I'm doing something I don't usually do. I'm doing it on the back because I want those seam allowances flat. Then I'm going to do that. And
Ooh, careful, you get a full
I'm going to do
facial.
that. Yeah, I'm going to put that back there. Whenever you leave a little bit around the edges of the shape, what it allows you to do is whenever you've applied this, the glue is adhered to your fabric, and whenever you cut around the line exactly for your heart, you're sealing the edge. Because
Right, so the glue will be right to the edge.
The glue is going to be sort of, as you cut, sort of almost driven into the edge of the fabric. So it helps. The Bondi web also helps give you a little bit more stability to the fabric. Makes it a little bit more stable, so you don't need to be applying any additional Vilene or Viseline product, because the glue has done that job for you. I tend to like to do a blanket stitch around the edge
Oh, that looks really lovely. I do like a blanket stitch on
Me
applique.
too. And of course, it's something you can do by hand or machine. And you can do it in a contrasting colour or a coordinating colour. You get different effects, which depending on what method you want to use and what colour threads you want to use. But there we go, I'm right the way round. So this one has, so we have 2 hearts that we can play with. You don't have to just put one heart on a block, but you can. There's one sitting there.
Do I need to trim up my log cabin block, or is it now
Nope.
to size? That's done.
That's to size.
Brilliant.
Providing you've been accurate, yeah?
Yeah.
We've got to go back to being accurate all the time, but no, these are to size. Here we have the one that I've just done. I'm going to pop that over there so that you can see it a little bit more clearly. You can put, how about this? How about 2 in one block?
Oh yeah. So you can really play around with it.
You really can. I kind of like them sort of coming off a little bit so that they're not just bang in the centres. But, and that, you know, step by step, make your log cut out accurately, make your log cabins up, stitch together your spare pieces, and then start to play with the how you place your template on your fabrics to make these interesting hearts.
And did you then use the applique template to quilt? Because you've almost got like a heart echo quilt as well.
Yes, and again, that's up to you. You can stitch in the ditch, which is what I would do to start with. I hate stitching in the ditch, but that's what my colleague Linda does for me. She does all the stitching in the ditch, and then she'd pass it over to me to do some hand quilting on. So it's a great team effort. But stitch in the ditch, that'll stabilise everything, and then that allows you to do whatever you want to. You have the template, so you can echo quilt, as you're just saying, or you could say hearts and flowers, so maybe put a flower in the blank spaces if you want to. Maybe some hearts down the border. This is quite a busy border, so you don't need to do very much, but if you have the pattern and you're wanting to do something, use up some of your solid fabrics, some hearts down the sides.
Oh,
that
would
would be
lovely.
really nice.
Yeah.
As always, it's, you know, get the basics, start doing what it tells you to do, then you're allowed to veer off a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, very exciting. We love, love, love it. Thank you ever so much.
So-
We're going to have a bit of a recap if that's okay, just because I know that the first half an hour of the show we had a bit of a technical issues on the website and there were so many of you who wanted it. So the kit that Yvonne's been working on and the one that she's put together and the team at Village Fabrics have put together for you is this one. You get all of your full comprehensive instructions along with your template for your heart. You have your you have all of your layout diagram, your sewing instructions, your assembly diagram. Everything that you need to know is there in there. Your finished size is 38 by 46 inches. And look at all of these beautiful fabrics which are included in your kit at $49.99, picked and packed by the team from Village Fabrics. It's absolutely beautiful quality cottons as well. They're all the same weight. They're quilting cottons and ideal for this quilt. I love that Yvonne, you know, has thought about the different scales of print. This for your border is just stunning. Your background has still got texture. It's not a stark colour. It's absolutely gorgeous. So everything that you need is there, all of your fabrics for the front and the binding of your quilt. Now, if you do want to make the bird or add the flowers, you can, of course, get the pattern on its own. The pattern on its own is, again, the full instructions of the quilt, including this time extra applique patterns, applique templates. So you've got all of your cutting instructions, all of your sewing instructions, your assembly, then it's got your applique section, so a section for the hearts, the flowers and the birds, plus then your inserts. As we said, this is slightly different as you've got the inserts as well, your borders, your quilting, your binding. If you do want The applique patterns and this pattern on its own, half of the stock is already completely sold out, with a lot of you have got it in your basket. The heart, the flat and the bird, and you can now check out on this on the website, on the app, on the phone line, wherever you want to. It's all up and running. Everybody should be fine. So that is the pattern from what we've been looking at today. Let's go right back to the start of the show. On the 12th of January, Yvonne's going to be doing a sew along for complete beginners. For anybody who has never ever done any kind of quilting before, we're going to make, well, four choices of colourways. The most beautiful table runners, and there are different kits to do that as well. So, first one, which one have you got, Kat? And I'll go with you. Let me go for Yvonne's favourite. This is the most popular, which is your batiks. So, the kits that Yvonne has put together provides everything that you need. Everything that you need, even your machine needles, even your threads, and a different one for your piecing, a different one for the quilting, plus you're then getting all of the fabrics, your batik fabrics, your wadding, and everything included to be able to make your table runner for $45.99. And Yvonne, you're going to be doing a video, aren't you?
I am. That's going to take you through what's in your pack and show you how to cut out all of the pieces ready to go for the 12th of January. We're also going to discuss how you can quilt it and show you how to put the binding on. So you're going to have me in your ear or on your video screen, just holding your hand through those parts. And we have very comprehensive instructions with some pictures in there as well.
Fantastic. We're really looking forward to that. So for anybody who has never quilted before, you get everything that you need, plus the videos, plus, of course, that live demonstration, which you'll be able to message in along the go. That colourway is the most popular at the moment. We've also, in fact, it will sell out today. It will sell out today. Can we do my favourite, which is the vintage? The vintage is beautiful. Oh, really? Second most popular. There we go. That's just me in life, isn't it? Not quite the most popular. John Scott. Oh, John, he'll always be our number one. $45.99, everything that you're getting. Plus, I love the fact that you're using the recycled wadding as well.
Yeah, it's a 70-30, so 70% cotton, a little bit of polyester in there, but all recycled. But it's really nice. You know, there's nothing nasty. Come on, would I put something nasty in there? Just wouldn't happen. And of course, you then have your backing fabric, your binding, contrast, your backing, your nice coral one for your stars, and you've got your quilt label.
Oh, I love it, absolutely love it.
And your threads, good quality machine needles, and your hand stitching needles for finishing off your binding. So we've been as comprehensive as we can in putting everything together so that you don't have to go looking for something that isn't, perhaps it's not an easy find if you don't have a haberdashery shop close by.
We started the hour with these, but we had a bit of a technical issue, so we just wanted to run through these kit. But you can now check out on the website, you can now check out on the phone line or on the app, wherever you want. It's all up and running. Now, lots of people were asking about this modern colourway. This is the more contemporary feel, like you said, actually unisex. So anybody that wants to have a go, this is open for any skill levels whatsoever, but it is designed for somebody who has never ever done any patchwork or quilting. We're going to go right back to basics, which is brilliant. You're going to receive videos from us. You'll get an email link with a video of how to get yourself prepared, ready for the sew along, which will happen on the 12th of January. How to even, thread out your sewing machine, get your machine all prepared, ready, how to cut all of your fabrics ready to go, what tools you're going to need, and then another video which you can watch after we've done the sew along, which will give you a really great in-depth look on how to bind your quilt and finishing touches like your quilting, etc. So that one's the blues and golds, which is your modern one, and then we also have your traditional. Absolutely beautiful as well. Very sort of country cottage chic, isn't it? It's gorgeous with those deep reds and beautiful beautiful greens. But then even your background, you've still got the detail in your
Yeah, because you've got a lovely little leaf on that tone on tone there.
And you do different quilting on all of them. I suppose it's good to be able to see different ways of quilting.
We did that on purpose so that we could talk through different styles of quilting on fit for the fabric background, because it wouldn't look really good to put flowers on the modern one, for example. But the idea of putting some circles on where something is very geometric is a really good idea. But none of these are difficult. And the one that you have in front of you, we've drawn round a dinner plate.
Oh gosh, and it looks like it could have been done on a long arm machine. It looks really fancy.
We really thought about this, again, making it accessible to people. Because people say, oh, I don't know how to quilt. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Oh, I can't draw that. Yes, you can, because you can draw around a circle. You can draw along a ruler. You can do something.
Brilliant. So, all of those colourways. And remember, coordinating labels, coordinating threads, coordinating fabrics, everything is thought of in every single kit. There's loads of you that are checking out. There's the blue one you can see there, coordinating again, grey threads to go with. Yeah. Lovely message come in from Janice, who said, well done, Yvonne, you're the best demonstrator I've ever seen. Janet, sorry.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I just try and do what I would like to someone to do to me, you know, steady, repeat, you know, it's that see one, do one, teach one. And that formula really works.
Oh, I'm so excited for the next hour with you as well, because you're bringing to us...
Oh, yeah. These are fun, aren't they?
Kimono placemats. These are going to be so popular. We've had so much interest already on social media. As soon as we posted the picture and as soon as they went on pre-order this morning, they were absolutely flying out. I'm excited to talk to you about your love for Japanese fabrics as well. I know that...
Yeah, I was very fortunate to be able to tick it off my bucket list 3.5 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
I went to Japan for a couple of weeks and really enjoyed just soaking up the different culture and seeing some of the beautiful temples. Went on the bullet train, so it's I find it very strange that it's so modern and it's so ancient.
Yeah.
It's such a very different mix of things. But I had a great time, and I do. You know, this all came about whenever I thought of the number of people who, because we can't go out to restaurants, we're actually taking takeaways.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, let's make takeaways a little bit special.
Yeah, really fancy. This would be amazing. Really, really special. I think these would make beautiful gifts for people as well.
Well, exactly. I made some for my niece for her wedding, because they were planning on going to Japan for their honeymoon. As it turned out, they didn't manage to go, but I thought, let me just little nod to where they're going, and made her a set of those.
Oh, I love them. They're coming up in the next hour. Thank you ever so much for this hour. It's been absolutely brilliant, and I'm so thrilled that everybody's excited about the sew along like we are. We'll see you in an hour.
I'll see you then.
So coming up, oh, by the way, yes, Christine, I've seen your message. Enjoying the show, Yvonne and Vicky. Quick question, do I have to purchase items for 6 days before the 12th for the 12 days of Christmas? It's including the 12th as well. So up to and including the 12th, between the 1st and the 12th, you need to purchase over 6 days. Doesn't need to be continuous 6 lanes, continuous 6 days on Sew Street or Yarn Lane. I will get my words out eventually. So should we have a quick break? Put my teeth back in, and I'll be back with some fabulous fabrics. Liberty, brand new Liberty, plus some very, very, very popular bundles back in stock right after this. Have you heard about Yarn Lane, a TV show dedicated to knitting, crochet and all things yarn, bringing you demonstrations from our expert guests as well as the latest tools. And find out what's coming up on the show by following us on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to our email newsletter, or visit the programme guide on our website at www.yarnlane.com.
Hi, I'm Yvonne from Village Fabrics, and I'm very pleased to be able to tell you that we have linked up with Sewing Street to bring you an absolute beginner's patchwork and quilting kit. As you can see on the wall behind me, there are 3 different colourways to make a table runner. We're going to take you step by step through how to make this from beginning to end. Much more information will be available whenever I'm next on the programme on the 9th of December. And please join whenever we do our live sew along in the new year. See you soon.
While we're having to spend more time at home again, we're here to keep you busy and entertained. Sewing Street will be live every day from 8 a.m, bringing you plenty of demonstrations with our experts in dressmaking, quilting, bag making, toy making, needle felting, embroidery, and so much more. Our community of fellow sewists on the Sewing Street fans Facebook group are there to chat to you about whatever you're making, sharing photos and advice. Check out the Sewing Street Facebook and Instagram pages for fun competitions and offers.
Hello, I'm Kerry from Living in Loveliness, and I'm delighted to be part of the Sewing Street team. I'm based in Wolverhampton, and I absolutely love working with fabulous fabrics. In particular, I love working with fat quarters and showing you how to get the most from your scraps. I love bringing communities of sewists together and encouraging people to sew for greater causes. Most recently, we have been sewing for our NHS and key workers. I look forward to bringing you hints, tips and techniques. I'll see you soon.
Hello, welcome back to Sewing Street. How amazing is Yvonne? I must say, that was just the most amazing hour. And you can tell that she's a very good teacher. Very good teacher. She's been in it a long time, and you can just tell the warmth and the love that she has for the kits that she puts together. So we're really excited for her kimono kits, which are coming up in the next hour. Now, we've got loads to do before 11 o'clock. So first of all, Christine, you're only 1 day to go then. She says, thank you so much, like the pun. She said, shop for 5 days so far. Has so many wonderful things. We've only got 1 more day to do before the 12th, and we're, now the 9th. So yeah, enjoy. Remember, anybody who's shopping between the 1st and the 12th of December, over 6 days, it doesn't need to be consecutive days, but 6 days across Sewing Street or Yarn Lane, then you're automatically eligible for free post and packaging through the whole of January. So to take part in the event, all that you need to do is shop for 6 days or more between, the 1st and the 12th. Brilliant. So you've got 3 days. 3 days left. 3 days left. Right, now can we start with Liberty? I must say, whenever we get new Liberty collections in, they fly out. This is completely different to any other Liberty fabric that you've seen on Sewing Street. This is called Adventures in the Sky. I absolutely love this fabric. I've been a huge fan of this fabric before. I love it, love it, love it. So, you are getting, this is brand new to us today. Brand new in, never been seen before on Sewing Street. You have got all of these 1/2 metre pre-cuts ready to go in a bundle. Just indulge into that quality quilting weight cotton. It's not a Tana lawn, this is your quilting weight cotton. It's got beautiful prints. Look, this one, I mean, we are going to see these by the 1/2 metre as well, but I just want to show you. This one has got so many, Elliot, you're going to love this. For storage boxes, for little boys' bedrooms, for dresses, for outfits, for anything. I mean, this is so cool, isn't it? For anybody who loves space, I know our Neil loves space. I think that's the reason we probably got it in. But look, you've got astronauts, you've got balloons, you've got bicycles, you've got the Saturn, you've got crayons here, you've got robots, stars, shooting stars. You've got aeroplanes, you've got rocket ships. It is literally the coolest fabric. I love, 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 love this. 1/2 metre of this one, which has got all of your prints. This is your Treasures in the Sky. That's the Treasures in the Sky print. All of them will be available by the half metre. This one's with your clouds and your rockets. How cool is that? For a quilt, this would be beautiful. This would be absolutely beautiful. You're shooting stars. I absolutely love that one. We've got them all available by the half metre as well coming up, but this is your chance to get this whole, the whole shebang. We've also got the stars. We've got the stars and that's slightly, is it metallic? No, I don't think it is. I don't know whether it looked almost like, is that metallic or not? But it's just silver. It's really lovely. So you've got all three of these as well, which are more of your mixers. I'm saying loosely mixers because they are Liberty after all. They are Liberty. So that's 3 metres. Now, should we do the prints first? By the half metre, let's go for the one that I opened out. It's 112 wide. It's quilting weight cotton. Those of you that know Liberty, I mean, we were talking about it yesterday. I know that Susie, of course, is a huge advocate of Liberty. She's worked very closely and worked for Liberty. And when she was talking about the Emporium collection, she was talking about the quality of the fabrics that they produce. This is exactly the same as that. It's the quilting weight. Absolutely gorgeous quality fabrics. If you're thinking, I am thinking like a big storage boxes for toys. How indulgent is, oh no, I'm going to stop saying this. I say it all the time. How indulgent to use Liberty. Whereas Susie changed my mindset and she says, no, Vic, it's not. You're doing, of course, you're spending a lot of time sewing. You're spending your, your hard-earned money on your sewing machines. It's your passion and your hobby. Why not use the best? This is Liberty London. This is the Liberty. That, of course, you don't even need to be a sewer to know Liberty. In fact, there was a lady who messaged in yesterday and she said, it's mine and my daughter's dream that if we won the lottery, we'd just go straight to Liberty. It's just such a famous store, isn't it? So to have the quality fabrics from Liberty for just £7.49 half metre. And look at all of the details. You've got drums, you've got bicycles. It's quite a scattered print as well that's multi-directional, so you don't need to worry about direction of print. Very, very popular indeed, going straight into lots of baskets. Do make sure you add to your order how many units you want and it will be cut off the bolt for you to whatever size you want. So if you want 3 metres of it, add 6 units to your order. I don't know if you can do that. I was saying yesterday, nobody corrected me, but please do correct me if I'm wrong. Don't hold me to it, but I don't think you can go to Liberty and just buy half a metre, if you know what I mean. I don't think you can go and just buy the smaller, I think it has to be by the metre or might even be more so than that. But don't quote me on it, but it is brilliant to be able to see it. If you just want half a metre, you can do it. Now this one is your clouds and it's got lightning, it's got rocket ships. It's cool, isn't it? This one's called Rocket Dance. And I love the colours that they're using in the backgrounds as well. That blue before was beautiful. And this one again, it's gorgeous. With just that little, let me spin it over just, sorry, because it was a bit creased. Sorry about that, it's a bit creased. My iron's still on, I was just going to have a quick iron with it. £7.99. It's 100% cotton, quilting weight for just £7.99. For garments, it would be beautiful. It's lovely quality for dresses, hats. Thinking little bucket sun hat, little dungarees. Absolutely gorgeous. Just £7.99 a half metre. We've got one other print, which is your shooting stars, I'm calling it. What do Liberty call it? My Little Star. Oh, see, this is quite grown up actually. I mean, don't get me wrong. The others, they're not. They are Liberty fabrics, but look at that. That is completely different to anything else that I've seen from Liberty. It's still got the quality. It's still got the detail. It's got this amazing sort of shooting star feel, and I just love the colours. Half a metre, £7.49. It's 112 wide. It's beautiful quality. It's got the Liberty London salvage as well. And of course, it's now your chance to buy the half metre. So if you're thinking of larger projects, now is the time to do it. It's so soft. Mega bundle is available, by the way. Mega bundle is available. Half a metre of each, so you get everything pre-cut into half metres when you're buying the mega bundle. This is your option to buy the half metre. We also have the 3 others, which again are included in your mega bundle. It's so beautiful, isn't it? I always take care when I'm folding it. You can tell when I'm presenting Liberty because I'm just always very sort of careful. It's so beautiful. This one is called Cosmic Scatter. This is so cool again. It isn't a metallic, it's a silver, but it's not a metallic. You've got sort of like these squares, a bit geometric. You've got your stars, you've got your shadows, you've got your beautiful blues. £7.49 a half metre. Your adventures in the sky, your scattered fabric. I absolutely love that. It's almost got see the little dots in between as well. It is like that burst of stars. It's beautiful. To be able to get print so tiny, tiny, tiny like that, you can see that it is quality printing. Absolutely, you wouldn't expect anything less from Liberty. Just £7.49 a half metre. Your Cosmic Scatter. What are you thinking of making with this one? Let me know. Let me know. Reading cushions, for bedding. I still am thinking for bedroom, for children's bedrooms. I mean, it is incredibly opulent to be able to do things like that. But Christmas decorations even. How about Christmas stockings? You could add some of your metallic threads to it. It'd be beautiful for Christmas stockings. We've got the stars, which are your scattered stars on white. Oh, someone's clumping around upstairs, aren't they? Do you hear that? It's Neil and Steve getting ready in the boxing ring for, of course, a very exciting show at 1 o'clock today. Do make sure if you've got plans over lunchtime, cancel them, push back your lunch break because we've got the most amazing show. Freeview 72, Sky 670 or 674. It's worth having a look and seeing which one it says on your EPG for jewellery maker. Neil's going to be there with our founder Steve Bennett. They're going to be sewing. They're going to be jewellery making. Rebecca Reed is there as well. She's demonstrating. She's going to be trying to teach them what to do. I feel so sorry for her. Oh my word, can you imagine? It's going to be chaos over in the Jewellery Maker Studios today. I'm so pleased that we're sitting over here, the other side, watching on the screen. Brilliant. I must say, we're one big sister channel, and there's sister channels, and they're our older sister. They let us stay there, didn't they, for the first 6 months of Sewing Street. And we've personally got lots of really close friends that are there. And it's just so lovely that we're all under the same umbrella now. It's so exciting. We were hoping for a big Christmas party finally. We've all known each other for years and years and years, and we're now working all together. And yeah, no Christmas parties. Maybe Zoom. Maybe we'll do some sort of Zoom or virtual meetup, or just save it to next year. Maybe just next year we just go bigger than ever. I have kind of written off this Christmas, to be honest, which is really sad, isn't it? And I would still want to make sure that we have a nice festive period, but yeah, I'm just a bit do you know what? It's a bit of a blip year, isn't it? The best thing this year is Sewing Street. I'm just so relieved that we've all had Sewing Street to keep us sane through this crazy year. Right, so this one is called Nebula. This is the Nebula. These are your beautiful stars. You've got the blue stars, you've got your silver stars. It's all quite random, all scattered, all beautifully. Take it outside of the collection. Now you don't see it next to the blues and baby blues. You could see this with all sorts. You could see this in the scattered, the random hearts quilt that we were looking at. You could see this with, for Christmas, yes. You could see this for all occasions. Just £7.49. Quilting weight cotton. This isn't your lawn weight, this is your quilting weight cotton. But even though I'm saying quilting weight, don't be put off if you're you know, doing other crafting, things like of course, if you want to do bag making, if you want to do toiletry bags, if you want to do, of course, dressmaking, it will just be slightly more structured, obviously, but it'd be perfect for all sorts. So don't be put off if I'm saying quilting cotton and you're not a quilter. We had a question come in. Hi, Jane. Jane, absolutely, yes. So Yvonne is doing a sew along, and Jane's asked, will the sew along video be available afterwards? If you're busy that day, don't worry, because you will always still be able to get it on YouTube as normal. So you'll still get your videos to be able to do, you know, your prep. And then after the 12th, or on the afternoon of the 12th, you'll be able to catch up. And hopefully anybody who is new will have asked the questions that you might have known. And if it's me, then I will make sure that everything is answered. But it's just a good chance for people who are able to sew along from home can ask any questions. But even if you do catch up on it, trust me, Yvonne, if you've watched her in the last hour, she's fantastic and really clear. So everybody's going to be able to get the hang of it from her videos. Okay, now finally, from this brand new collection, literally only launching right now, is this one. This one is called Saturn's Path, which is, again, absolutely beautiful colour. This ties in so well with all of the other fabrics that we've seen. Remember, now you've seen them all, if you do want to get 1/2 metre of each as a mega bundle, of course you can do so. You can still do so. There is still availability. 749.5 metre, 112 wide, quilting weight cotton. And come on in and see the detail of this, because it's almost got like this... I don't know how to describe that print. Well, there you go, you can see it. I don't need to say anything. It's almost like a weft, there you go, a warp and a weft, Elliot. Do you know what I mean? The warp and the weft, the grain of the fabric. Which is which though, Kat? There's a saying, isn't there? The weft goes left and the warp goes orp. I think that's just, and down. I think that's the saying. Have I said it right? And then also, your mega bundle is here on the screen. It's $43.99. So if you love all of those fabrics, 1/2 metre of each, that's 3 metres of beautiful Liberty for less than £45. And of course, if you are shopping today, then you are taking part in our 12 days of 12 days of Christmas, are we calling it? 12 days of Christmas event. 1st to the 12th of December. If you've bought anything else over the last few days, then it's worth checking that out, because you might be eligible for, of course, for free P&P all of January. If you've never watched Yarn Lane before, we're going to do a brand new technique on needle punching or punch needling, which is very, very exciting. I'm going to be here with Sam from the Adventures of Crafting, and she's going to be taking us right back to basics. I'm complete beginner with it, so those of you that are new, definitely worth staying tuned for the 12 o'clock show. Oh yeah, Marianne, it is like a basket weave, isn't it? Thank you, Marianne. So they're all of our Liberties. We love it. Shall we do some bundles that have come back into stock that Kat has put together? In fact, no, this one is brand new. We'll do some of the others afterwards. But if you want a little bit of sunshine in your life, don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people are very into Christmas at the moment, but lots of people have also done all of their Christmas makes and are now looking forward to the summer. This is beautiful. Good choices. I unpacked this and I did compliment Kat on it earlier. So you've got 1/2 metre of your lovely sunshine yellow, 1/2 metre of lime, 1/2 metre of jade, 1/2 metre of orange, 1/2 metre of imperial, and then 1/2 metre of bright pink. What lovely colours. I think the imperial really sort of grounds it as well. Don't get me wrong, that's really fun. But do you know what I mean? Just bringing this in just really grounds it and ties it all together perfectly. 1/2 metre of each. They are quilting weight cottons again. Like with Liberty, I must say the quality of our Rose and Hubble cottons are beautiful. Those of you that have worked with our solids before, you know that. 1/2 metre looks like this. Can I show you how much fabric you are getting? I'm going to unfold them all because I think when we see it like this, it sort of is a bit deceptive, isn't it? You get so much 112 wide, 3 meters. If you want to cut these in half and share it with somebody and have fat quarters, of course you absolutely can. Your sunshine yellow. Oh, that is just such a gorgeous yellow. And I mean, look, I'm seeing this as a really, really bright, fun project. But if you just want it as a stash builder, I'm just going to move my iPad and move everything over because we're going to run out of space, aren't we? If you do just want it as a stash builder, I mean, these two together are going to be really warm. Mixing them in with browns and reds and blacks is going to look really cool, different. You've also got your jade and your lime. Oh, what am I doing? There's your orange. 0.5 metre, plus your jade. I'm regretting saying I'm opening them all up now. Are you at home? Are you in the gallery? Oh, look at this. There's your jade. There's so much fabric. And I must say, it is quite a nice little break to think, oh, we have got summer. Well, summer will be here, and fingers crossed, everything will all be okay by summer. These projects are going to look amazing. You could do some really cool sort of picnic baskets and picnic bags and placemats for outside for barbecues and things like that. They're lovely. Or a beige yellow in this. Oh, practicing your quilting, your free motion with it. It looks brilliant on solid fabrics. Adding them in with any of your other fabrics. So for example, we've got this stripe that's coming up. If you just want to team it with a yellow to match it in, if you want to use blue, you don't need to use it as a bundle. We just thought they're lovely colours together. Brand new bundle in today. That jade is gorgeous, isn't it? 0.5 metre of your jade, 100% cotton, machine washable, beautiful, beautiful quality. Plus you're getting 0.5 metre of your orange. Oh, brilliant. It's always the way whenever Kat puts bundles together. People are multi-buying. Don't forget, if you do multi-buy on bundles, our warehouse team have already cut these into 0.5 metre pre-cuts. So they're already cut and ready to go, just so that you are aware. Lots of people have got multiple in their basket. There's your bright yellow. Sunshine, that one's called. And these are all available on the website as well as staples. So don't worry if you are thinking, right, I want to get some more of this bright pink, then you can always go onto the website and order more by the 0.5 metre. There's your bright pink. Brand new, in today, out today, I think, by the looks of things. It's very, very busy indeed. This is then your Imperial. That is like that chocolate box purple, isn't it? That is gorgeous. It's got a really lovely, deep, sumptuous purple, like it reminds me of velvet. It's called Imperial. It's really lovely. If you want that on its own, it's called Imperial on the website. And then the last one is this gorgeous lime green. So all of them by the 0.5 metre, sorry, not by the 0.5 metre, cut into 0.5 metre pieces. It's £20.49. Yeah, that is a nice bright lime green, isn't it? Okay. Let's do, yeah, go on then. Let's do on neutrals. Now these are really beautiful. I'm thinking toy making, I'm thinking doll making. It launched on Sunday, completely sold out with Debbie. Now is your second chance. We've managed to get not very many, but a few back in stock to hopefully meet the demand of the people that missed out. But just be aware, they've already been selling on pre-order. 0.5 metre of vanilla. 0.5 metre of vanilla at the bottom there. 0.5 metre of vanilla, 0.5 metre of beige, 0.5 metre of nude. This one I've never seen before. This is called Silver Mink. This is the first time I've seen it. It's absolutely beautiful. In fact, this one was the one that inspired the whole bundle. I'm not surprised. They are lovely. It's a very, I'm going to call it greige. It's like a grey beige. It's a very, very on-trend colour. Love that. And then finally with tan, that really is a gorgeous neutral bundle, isn't it? Whether you're choosing to use these together or whether you just are not quite sure what background colours you're using and you just want to be able to have a stash of all of them there ready to go. Or for linings, these are perfect. I absolutely love those. You can embroider on top of them. We did some beautiful embroidery skeins earlier on at 8 o'clock this morning. These would be really, really lovely with your embroidery, bright embroidery floss. Maybe some of the thread doodles. Look lovely. £16.99, 100% quilting weight cotton. Love that, love that, love that. Okay, the next one, which came into stock and disappeared, was Bursting Sunset. That is this one. You've got gold, sunshine, lemon, blush, coral, and rose. I even know all the names of them. It's one of the most popular bundles that we stock. Yes, there you go. All of these together are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So you, for £20.49, you've got half a metre of lemon, half a metre of sunshine and half a metre of gold. But even teaming, you know, these colours together, it just works, doesn't it? It's that red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Red sky in the mornings, shepherd's pie, as our Paul would say. So even funny, is it? It's just hilarious. I love it. I think it's really funny. £20.49 for your Bursting Sunset. It is back in stock today. Now, basically what happens, because we have all of these on the website as staples, so you can always hopefully get them. But if rose sells out, then it means the whole bundle's gone to put. So we have to wait until they all come back into stock. We were really struggling to get yellows for a while, actually. Really limited on yellows. So if you do want these colours, it's definitely worth snapping them up whilst you can. They are absolutely beautiful, beautiful colours. And again, remember, by the half, they are already cut into half metre pre-cuts, but they are available individually on the website. Gold, sunshine, lemon, rose, coral, blush, coral and rose. £20.49. Okay, your monochromes are up next. Another new one. Oh, nice. We've done a similar bundle, haven't we, before? And it's been really, really popular. Kat has rooted through and found all of the greys that are in stock because there's so many different shades. And you know, normally when you go into a fabric store, it's quite difficult sometimes to find the right shade that you're after because they might stock a grey or a couple of greys, a light and a dark. But because of their stocking facility, their warehouse facilities, they won't have a warehouse like we do. So to be able to stock all of these different shades is brilliant. So from the bottom, you've got half a metre of elephant grey, elephant. Half a metre of black, always very, very useful in your stash. Half a metre of dark grey, half a metre of white, half a metre of school grey, and then we've also got half a metre of silver. Half a metre of silver. Just so you know, this one is now very, 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 very limited. Loads of you have just checked out on this one. Be aware this is now very limited indeed. £19.99. I'm not surprised at that price as well. What does that make our price per half metre? Dare I ask? What's our price per half metre? Honestly, it's priced really low. We're at £3.33 a half metre, which I'm sure our half metres are £3.49, aren't they? So every little helps, every little saving helps. Just making a saving on each half metre on this one. And they're all very, very useful colours that you're absolutely going to use. I'm thinking if you want to do, you know, any of the Tula Pink line work collection, if you just want to mix in and make some monochrome looks, that is perfect, isn't it? Well done. It's sold out. Sold out. Okay, so just so you know, the neutrals you can still get. The neutrals are still available at the moment. In fact, just about. I'll let you know when that's sold out. Shall we do pre-cuts quilt book? Now you've got 10 different projects in here for £10.99. So we're looking just over £1 a project, which is just amazing. Bearing in mind, you can pay this price, of course, just for a pattern. So books like this are brilliant value for money, especially if you've got quite a big stash at home and you're thinking of what to make. So you've got your dancing squares. This is cool. See, with your dramatic black fabric and then some real brights, maybe your tropicals. That would look lovely, absolutely lovely. It's got really clear instructions, including all your cutting instructions, your construction instructions. Even there, you can see where you need to stop if you want to make it into, if you want to make it into a wall or crib size, if you want to make it into a twin quilt, or if you want to make it in a queen size as well. It highlights, I don't know whether you can see on there where to stop. There's quite a thick black line of where to stop. I can sing a rainbow. Oh, there you go. Grab the tropical bundle whilst you can. It's 3 metres for £20, 49 pence. And in fact, this quilt would look lovely. Mixing it in with some of your pattern fabrics as well. That's your stairways quilt. It looked completely different in monochrome as well, wouldn't it? I mean, you could do it in your greys or your beiges, your greige. I'm really into the neutral sort of clean. It's really, really popular. But don't get me wrong, rainbows have just been so popular this year. This is your wild webs, building up using strips of fabric. How cool is that? To make these stripped, they're hexes, aren't they? They're amazing. In fact, that one, traditional way to make spider web is to use paper piecing. Instead, I use a special triangle ruler for that one, so you can do it with paper piecing. Just so you know, the Neutral Bundle is now completely sold out. Well done if you got it. Tropical is available and Bursting Sunsets is available. We still have availability on the Liberty Mega Bundle, but just so you know, the Bursting Sunsets and the Tropical are both in single figures. It looks like we could just sell out of everything. In fact, we'll have to tell Yvonne, get ready, because we'll probably be coming to you early, Yvonne. We've got our Garden Days, our Hugs and Kisses. What did you just say? Toothpaste Kisses. What song's that? Toothpaste Kisses. I've never heard of that song ever. I'm learning a lot from our cat the last 2 days. She's been teaching me about hot squash, boiled bacon, now toothpaste kisses. We're learning a lot about the Wilcox family, aren't we? I don't know, I've never heard of any of them. Oh, it's by the Maccabees. Is it quite a new song? The Maccabees are a current band, aren't they? There's your playground quilt. Anyway, we digress. No, I don't know that song at all. Century Farm. This would be really, really beautiful with some of the fabrics that we saw from from Yvonne's kits. Those moders or traditionals. Great book, really lovely inspiration again. Just £10.99. I've never heard that song in my life, Kat. Ever. In my entire life, never heard it. £10.99, a bargain book, isn't it? Right, we also have, just to remind you, Bursting Sunsets and Tropical are now the only ones available. Those ones have sold out. Well done if you got them. The Liberty one's available. Oh, can we do the stripes? Because I pulled on these stripes earlier. These ones are really lovely. Our bright stripe. Oh, I hope it's not going to send the camera a bit crazy. What I'll do is I'll just hold it still. We won't be wafting it because then it might be a bit stroby. But you've got a really lovely fine pinstripe. I'm thinking for like pyjama bottoms or little shorts. These would be really lovely. Washing laundry baskets, for storage boxes again, for toys, for pencil cases, for stationery, for storage boxes for your craft room. These are ideal. £4.99 a half metre. That's a bargain as well. This one's called Bobbin's Picnic. Half a metre for £4.99. Isn't Debbie's dog called Bobbin? Debbie's got a dog called Bobbin. Thank you, Elliot. Oh, and they are really lovely fine stripes. They're not completely straight. They're slightly doodled, which I really like. I really like that about it, actually. In fact, do you know what I'm really into at the moment? Stripy binding. This would be really good for stripy binding. I'm thinking even just a plain fabric and a stripy binding all the way around your Mummy and Me apron from Alice and Marion. That would be beautiful. It's your primary colours, isn't it? And then you've got green as well, but you've got your yellow, your blue, your red, white. It's absolutely lovely. Classic, absolute classic. We've also got... Kat's obsessed with making scrunchies at the moment, by the sounds of it. This one is really pretty. Now this I'm thinking for nurseries or, you know, for babies' bedrooms. This is so cute. In fact, it will go really nicely with the Moda that we launched yesterday. Stripy binding for any of the quilts that you want to make. I like their irregular numbers as well, that you've got 4 yellows, you've got 2 pink, 2 green, 3 blue. It's really beautiful, and it's a very soft pink, like a peach and apricot colour. Plus then you've got the green, you've got the yellow. That's so pretty and brilliant value for money as well. This is, let me see what it's a slightly lighter weight cotton. I wouldn't call it a poplin weight, but it's maybe slightly lighter. It'd be really, really nice for dressmaking actually. It's 110 wide, 100% cotton. That'd be beautiful for dressmaking. Really, really beautiful. Or scrunchies, yeah, or scrunchies. Or suit linings, do I hear you say, Elliot? Yeah, Kat's obsessed with making scrunchies at the moment. And Elliot, I think, is suit linings or ideas. Oh, bunting would be lovely for a nursery. That'd be so pretty. Okay, they're the 2 stripes. Should we do 2 extra wide backings? Have you got any unfinished projects in your wardrobe, in your cupboard, stashed away somewhere where you've done all your piecing and then you're ready to quilt it and you think, oh, I've done all this hard work of piecing the front. I don't want to use my stash to piece the back. I don't want to use up all of my fabric. It takes time piecing. I don't want it to look messy. I've spent a lot of time. These are beautiful bright colours, and look at how wide this is. So it is 280 centimetres wide. Imagine the size of the bolt that this comes on, and that's why not many quilting shops will be able to stock very many different colourways. We're really lucky that we do have obviously the warehouse facility that we can store some of these, but this is so fun. I'm thinking for a play mat, for the backs of quilts, yes, but also it doesn't make it any lesser quality calling it quilt backing. You could use this for linings, you could use this for cushions, fronts and backs. Just think, to be able to have so much more fabric for £8.99 is pretty crazy. You could use this line as a bit of a guide to practice some of your free motion. A bit of a doodled effect. If you want to make an extra large crocodile, what about a big snake? Oh, this would be so cool for toy making. Absolutely love it. And of course, if you are using it for quilt backing, your benefits are you're not going to have to piece. You're not going to have to piece it. You're not going to have lots of joins. So that is absolutely brilliant. And if you're buying by the ½ metre, obviously it will be cut off the bolt for you to however much you want. So you can get 4 metres continuous if you want, if you add 8 units to your order. But the value for money, just to have it in your stash, is brilliant. Always very, very popular indeed. This one, is it called Crossroads? Squiggle. This is your squiggle. The other one's Crossroads, which we've got coming up. But that's a lovely, zesty green. Really lovely. In fact, right, let me step aside. Elliot, would you hold the other side for me, please? Thank you. Just so you can see how wide this is, because it's absolutely huge. It won't fit on the, socially distant, perfect. 2.8 metres. That is a lot of fabric for £8.99. £8.99, and it is lovely. Don't stretch it. It's lovely quality quilting cotton. That is a lot, isn't it? Do you know what about a massive teepee or a play tent or something like that? Would be absolutely perfect. Thank you, Elliot. We also have Crossroads, which is the same width. I won't make Elliot open this out again. Oh, Annie's bought me a cup of tea. Thank you. Oh, look at this. This would make really cool. I'm thinking like big storage boxes. If you want to make huge play mats to back it for if you know, if you're having picnics, planning on having some nice big picnic parties, which I am in 2021, all being well. Oh, Kat is just bought her first home, and it's in the grounds of a very, very fancy park in Solihull. A Grade 2 listed building, she's telling us all about it now, where you see a lot of wildlife, don't you? So yeah, you're going to be inviting us around for all of the tea parties next summer, aren't you? Oh, it's so lovely. How excited are you to have all your nice walks on your doorstep? Just £8.99. And this one hasn't got, you know, really sort of definite square. Well, it has got definite squares, but they're all different sizes again. You can see, it, I love that sort of doodled effect by it. Your Crossroads extra wide backing fabric for £8.99. It's a lovely shade of green. For linings, for cushions, it's just going to go on and on and on in your stash, isn't it? Smaller projects, for Christmas makes, absolutely. Just to practice your sewing. If you're getting somebody else into sewing maybe, and you do want to practice, then that is absolutely perfect. Okay, something completely different. We think this would be really, really lovely with the stars from the Adventures in the Sky collection. If you want to make some, maybe some pencil cases or some storage compartments where you want a clear vinyl or a clear PVC pocket, then this is going to be absolutely perfect. It's £2.99 for a ½ metre, which is extra wide. And you can't quite see, but it's got rainbow coloured glitter inside. It's got rainbow colour glitter as well. Any of the Liberty fabrics it will go beautifully with. In fact, the one that you can see there, the My Little Star, there's loads of you that are checking out on that one. And this would look lovely if you were doing, I'm thinking a bag with some pockets that you want to be able to see what you're getting, or the nebula, the white with the stars on, this one. This one would look lovely as well. Pencil cases. They're ideal, aren't they? Now, all I would suggest, swimming bags, the only thing I would be careful with is putting your pins through it. Use sewing clips if you can. Other than that, it's absolutely fine to sew into. You can use your sewing machine with it, no problem whatsoever. You could bind it with a lovely, the stripy binding. Go on, have a question. Could I use this for... I think that would look nice. No, I'm just repeating what you're saying, so everybody knows. Could you use it for, Elliot's saying? You could make toiletry bags with it, absolutely. Yeah, toiletry bags, yeah. And you could bind it with a zip on the top. That would be lovely with a nice bright colour zip. £2.99 for travel bags. This is ideal, Elliot. I'm just thinking, you know, quite a big boxy bottom rectangle with a nice bright zip with some binding. It would look really lovely, and you can see what you've got in there for makeup bags and things. That's ideal. And it's got a rainbow colour glitter. It's really wide. I've got it in half here. Look, you get loads for just £2.99. And it's by the ½ metre as well, isn't it? Or does this come pre-cut into ½ metre cuts? Nope, you can buy it by the ½ metre. So you can actually buy multiple units of this, which is fab, isn't it? Can you see all the glitter, Elliot? If I hold it like this, can you see the rainbow glitter? To the left, look at that. Oh, this is so beautiful. Oh, for Christmas. This is beautiful. Can you see it? Thank you. Oh, look at that. Lovely, sparkly. Look at how well that catches the light. And I mean, oh, this is going to look beautiful, beautiful, beautiful out in sunlight. Excuse me. You can also always layer it up as well. There's nothing to say you can't always layer it up. Sorry, let me just put my hand sanitizer on. any excuse to put my lovely Seams hand sanitizer on. It just smells so beautiful, so beautiful. Yeah, you can layer it up. You'll be able to sew through this no problem, lay it up, so you can put your fabric on there, and or you can double it up if you prefer. Okay, not long until we're getting Yvonne back on, we can quickly just show you this one, which is the Joy of Jelly Rolls. We've been seeing lots of jelly rolls recently, and I've always spoken about some of the books that we have on the website, so we decided to just bring one onto the show. This is a big book. It's $9.99, and it gives you so much inspiration. Oh, look, Kat. I know why she's picked it. Wait till you see this. Hang on. I flicked past it. You've got so many ideas in here that aren't just quilting projects. Spring door wreath, hair snaps, scrunches. There are cushions, hexagons. Look at these hanging fish. Little bunting with your new stripy fabric. Ollie the Octopus, I think we've done before, but these are all using your 2.5-inch cuts, 2.5-inch strips. There's loads of jelly rolls on the website. These are all the gift ideas. There's your quilting and binding tips and techniques, but there's so many projects. I mean, you are going to work your way through these, aren't you? You don't need to have pre-cut jelly rolls. You can cut them yourself, absolutely. Oh, we learnt the log cabin technique earlier on with Yvonne, didn't we? Same again. £9.99. Dressed in plate. Sorry, Cat just did the strangest sound in my ear. Sounded like a cow. Japanese bag, book bag. Speaking of Japanese, oh my word. The Japanese knot bag there is lovely, and it would go so well. Oh, look at this. Tabby cat pillow. It goes so well with the placemats that we've got coming up in the next hour. You sounded really interested. £9.99. Oh, look at this, patchwork dog. Again, so they're 2.5-inch squares. But you can cut your own. If you've got the stripology, if you've got fabric by the half metre, you can cut them really quickly and really easily. Lots of quilting designs in here as well. This is a great book for $9.99. I don't think I've ever bought this on air. There's some Pam and Nikki Lintott jelly roll books as well on the website. It's definitely worth having a good scan through, especially if you're thinking, right, I'm involved in the 12 days of Christmas. I've been shopping for the last few days with all the brilliant deals that have been going on. It's definitely worth going onto the web, seeing what's available, making the most of the 1p&p. And of course, if you're shopping over the first 12 days of December, then of course you will only pay, well, in fact, you won't pay any postage and packaging in January. The 12 days of Christmas event is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Sorry, I'm just still half laughing in my head at the sound that Cat just made in my ear. Elliot, I think Elliot's crying. Look, lavender ravioli. How lovely is that? Your little needle book. Plenty of projects in here to be getting on with. Also, I've got some news, by the way. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock, you're going to see a brand new face on air. You've got a brand new presenter who's joining the team. You'll know her name very well. You might not have seen her face before. So, speaking of books, we've got quite a few books, Fat Quarter books, on the website that were written and produced by Wendy Gardner. And she's going to be joining us tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock to present the whole 5-hour shebang or the whole show. She's going to be here with, who's on, do you know with her? Who's our guest on tomorrow? Oh, I know she's got Kerry from Living in Loveliness, because I was talking to Kerry last week about it. But yeah, Wendy and Cara. So you've got the whole shebang tomorrow. Great introduction show to say that she's got Kerry and Cara with her. So yes, do tune in tomorrow morning. Wendy Gardner is going to be joining the Sewing Street team, which I don't actually know whether I'm allowed to say it or whether it's being advertised. But I just wanted to let you all know not to miss it tomorrow, 'cause it's going to be brilliant. You heard it here first. So very, very quickly. The tropical bundle, there's still less than 10 of these. In fact, there's one left of Bursting Sunset if you want to grab that. Those of you that have got it in your basket already, check out now. You get jade, orange, sunshine, bright pink, imperial and lime. All of these colours, half a metre pre-cuts. Brand new bundle in today. Single figures for £20.49. We've had the most amazing hour, haven't we? We've got 2 hours now jam-packed of demos. So this hour coming up, we've got Yvonne and we've got the amazing Kimono Placemats. Plus, we'll do a bit of a recap for anybody who missed the information about the sew-along that we're going to be doing with Yvonne. There they are. They are already flying out on pre-order. Be aware, if you want them, please do check out now. David, there will be a tick box that says combine orders. Make sure you tick it and you will get 1 P&P all day across the board. It will put your address in for you. It will quickly sort of put you through the checkout process and you'll only pay the 1 P&P. So that's how you get involved. The kimono's coming up and then it's Yarn Lane, don't forget, at 12 o'clock. And we've got lovely Sam from Adventures of Crafting who's going to be teaching us a brand new hobby, a brand new skill. So stay tuned for that as well. But Yvonne is going to be joining me in just a few minutes. And then, of course, we've got the Mask Off with Steve Bennett and Neil Garrett live on Jewellery Maker, 1 o'clock. Everybody needs to be watching and rooting for our Neil and Steve, of course. It's trying to... Yeah, somebody messaged in earlier saying, I'm rooting for them both. It's like choosing between your favourite children. You're right, isn't it? So do make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm coming up back again with Yvonne in just a few minutes, so I'll see you after this very short break.
Hi, my name is Yvonne McAtamney. My passion is patchwork and quilting. And it's also my privilege to own Village Fabrics, patchwork and quilting shop in Wallingford. My sewing life began before I went to school, certainly, and probably before I could read. My mum was always a sewer, and with 2 big sisters, every weekend there would be a new dress made, and I was allowed to do certain pieces, and as I got older, I started to make some dresses. My top tip is you don't have to be able to draw to design. The place that I always start is with a children's colouring in book. They have good bold outlines and then you can trace that and adapt to your heart's content. Anybody can do it. My claim to fame is that last year, when things were good, we had Jenny Doan from Missouri Star Quilt Company come and do a meet and greet at my shop in Wallingford. We had a really enjoyable day and good fun was had by all. So I hope I'll be popping into your living rooms on a regular basis as we go forward with Sewing Street here. We are intending to bring you some absolute beginner kits as well as some of our more intricate designs. See you soon.
Have you heard about Yarn Lane, a TV show dedicated to knitting, crochet and all things yarn, bringing you demonstrations from our expert guests as well as the latest tools. And find out what's coming up on the show by following us on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to our email newsletter or visit the programme guide on our website at www.yarnlane.com.
Hi, I'm Yvonne from Village Fabrics and I'm very pleased to be able to tell you that we have linked up with Sewing Street to bring you an absolute beginner's patchwork and quilting kit. As you can see on the wall behind me, there are 3 different colourways to make a table runner. We're going to take you step by step through how to make this from beginning to end. Much more information will be available whenever I'm next on the programme on the 9th of December. And please join whenever we do our live sew along in the new year. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Sam from Adventures in Crafting. I'm a craft and crochet teacher based in Tring in Hertfordshire. Since lockdown, I've moved all of my classes onto Zoom, so I now have customers from all over the country. I teach lots of crafts, but crochet is my specialism. I became passionate about crochet when I was pregnant with my 4th child and in desperate need of some me time. Crochet became my sanctuary and I've crocheted every day since then. I'm a qualified teacher and 8 years ago I began teaching crochet. I love sharing my passion with other people. I design patterns, sell kits and teach lots of classes. My classes range from beginners to next steps, specific makes and clubs. I also like to design crochet alongs. My most recent one was my Autumn Granny Square crochet along, which resulted in me designing this allotment jumper, which I love to wear when I'm out gardening and looking after my chickens. My crochet tip for you is to enjoy it. Crochet should be about taking part in a hobby that brings you pleasure. My claim to fame is that I met Kirsty Allsop at the Handmade Fair and I gave her one of my crochet sunflower brooches. I'm so excited to be taking part in Yarn Lane and I hope you'll enjoy my demonstrations.
Hello, welcome back, welcome back. I must say, me and Yvonne are always just gassing, having a chat, and Elliot screams, "We're coming back in Vision." We were just having a nice conversation there, talking about how Yvonne's met everybody now, officially in the team. I was the last one on the list then.
Well, save the best to last.
Oh, Yvonne, you come again. Right, so just very quickly, because I know that we had technical difficulties in the first hour, which meant there were a lot of people who missed the opportunity to check out on the sew along. So the sew along is happening on the 12th of January. Jot it down in your diary, and don't worry if you're working or if you have any other commitments, you will be able to catch up on the sew along on YouTube. But with this price, you get everything that you need to create this table runner from complete scratch. So you do not need to be any kind of piecing expert. You take your sewing machine out of the box today or on Christmas Day and get yourself all prepared with the video that Yvonne is going to film later this afternoon. She's going to be filming that, so then you will have that before the show so you can get yourself all prepped, all ready to go. You'll have your machine set up, you'll have all of your fabrics cut, which I think, this colourway, by the way, we will go through with Yvonne, everything that you get is the most popular. I think it's invaluable, especially with the times that we're in at the moment where we're not able to go to classes. I think this is a great idea, Yvonne.
It's a complete new departure for me as well. But I think it is a way ahead. Certainly, you know, not everyone has access to a shop or a group that they can go and visit. And of course, with the pandemic, people are a little more hesitant to come out, and perfectly understandable. So if we can come into your living room, if you invite us in, then, you know, that's going to be a bit of fun.
I love that. And you've thought of everything in this kit. It's packaged so beautifully.
Well, I try hard. I don't sleep very well, so I think this kind of thing allows me to do something constructive. So we have gone from, you've gotten your wadding, which is a 70% cotton, 30% polyester recycled wadding, but it's really nice and soft. We have given you a backing fabric. You then have this is the background fabric, your binding. Then you have your first contrast here with this nice multicolored one, and the lemon creates the nice stars and the part of the 9 patch for the patchwork on either end of the table runner. So those are the pieces of fabric. We then have included 2 threads. This is a Gutermann cotton thread, so this is your basic thread for piecing. This is a Metler, which is really good quality quilting thread, so for your quilting. And while people forget that they can actually take the needle out of their sewing machine, it is important to change your needle on a regular basis. So we've included a set of high quality sewing needles, and in the correct size. These are 80-12s.
That's so good. Hopefully it will remind everybody to frequently change their needle.
It
You always forget. I'm guilty of it.
Well, me too, but not too often actually, because your machine makes a different sound.
Yeah,
it's like it's like forgetting to change if you have a manual car and you don't change gear, your car struggles, and it's the same with your sewing machine. If you put a new needle in, you start to pierce through again as opposed to punching through,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So it makes a different sound. We've also been thought through that it really is nice to put a label on the back of whatever quilt or wall hang, whatever project you're doing. Just a couple of words, the date, if you're gifting it to someone, if it's just, you know, sew along Sewing Street 2021, it's just a really good reminder whenever you look back on where your quilting journey started.
Especially then when you get more experience, it's always good to look back and see how
Yep.
far you've come.
Yeah, see, oh gosh, did I really like those colours back then?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time. And we've also included a hand sewing needle for just finishing off the binding.
So you don't need to get anything else. You've included everything.
You will need some basic tools.
Yeah.
But for the fabric, for the items to actually make the table runner, everything is here.
Including, you get 2 videos as well, which Yvonne will explain all of your tools that will be you will need, how to set up your machine, how to cut your fabrics, everything that you'll need to know before we do the sew along. You'll get a link closer to the time, and then another video which will come through, which will go into depth again about the binding and the finishing.
Yes, and various options for quilting.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Love
We're
that.
doing
So
all
that's
that.
the boutique option. All of that for $45.99. Such a great price. Now my favourite is the vintage. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and the same applies. It doesn't change at all. So don't worry, whichever colourway you're working with, it's just down to personal preference. You're still putting everything in the kit that everyone's going to need.
Yeah, and we have coordinated threads.
Oh,
so,
lovely.
You know, previously they were green threads. Now we've gone to the sort of aqua shades so that it all blends in. We have managed to get a really pretty little vintage label. It's got some little flowers on here. So I think just everything we've managed to put together is in keeping for the particular project. There are, besides the videos, you are going to get a very comprehensive set of instructions as well. There are 7 pages of me rambling on as to what to do, as well as diagrams. So if you're someone who learns by pictures, we've dealt with that. If you're someone who is better with words, there are a couple of pages of those as well.
And you've put all these together, haven't you? You and your team. It's a team effort.
Yeah, we do all of our own design work at Village Fabric, so anything that we bring to you has come from concept right the way through to a finished package with the sample. Either myself or my colleague Linda will have designed and made these things. We actually make them, so we know where the problems are. Well, not problems.
Yeah, but
we know where the
any
trickier
troubles,
trickier bits are.
We've had a message come through from Susan. Hi, Susan. Yvonne, you're an amazing teacher. Lucky to have been in her classes in Village Fabrics.
Yeah, well, that's very kind of you to say so. You know, personal recommendation is the best thing that is the best marketing tool that there is. So we much
and not all of us
appreciate
can get to Oxfordshire, you know, to come to your classes, and you're not doing them at the moment. So it's really good that we're able to offer this service to your living room.
I do think so. And, you know, it's just nice to think that people are shopping locally where they can and supporting small businesses.
Absolutely.
As Sewing Street does.
Do you know, I must say, that's one of my favourite things about being part of Sewing Street is that, and Yarn Lane, which we'll talk about in the next hour as well, we're actually really sort of passionate about coming to people, you know, like yourselves.
The independent crafts, the artisans.
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
It's brilliant. Now, this is the more sort of contemporary, modern colourway. I think lots of gents getting involved in this as well.
Well, yeah, we have actually taught gentlemen to quilt on our beginners courses.
Why not? Absolutely.
Anyone who has an engineering background really falls into it quite easily. Again, we have coordinated threads, so we have grey threads this time round. We have this wonderful splash of sunshine, yellow for the star and the patchwork, and again the quilt label needle. really pretty good pictures which would give you a reference for where the fabrics go, as well as the diagrams in the instructions.
I love that. And I mean, the detail in the quality of the fabrics, you can just see there is so much passion that's going into it. In fact, Debbie, you're absolutely right. Debbie's just said on Facebook, loving Yvonne. She just sounds so knowledgeable and passionate about teaching and sharing.
Oh, I talk a good talk.
Well, you are Irish, aren't you?
Well, this is it. Yes, I've done it, and I've taught for a number of years, and just because I'm hands-on, you know.
Yeah.
So I know what your problems are, because of the problems I've encountered over the years, and I'm just really passionate about people learning how to do things properly. If you do it properly, then the world is your oyster.
Yeah.
If you jump in halfway up the quilting trail without the basics, then you will come to a point where you can't grow any further.
Yeah, oh, well, you get into bad habits, don't you? And like you say, then you'll struggle. Whereas if you're brand new, never done it before, aren't we so lucky to have Yvonne? We're so lucky. The last colourway that we have is this one, which is your traditionals, the reds, the greens, the creams, almost Christmassy. I'm ready for the following Christmas. This is so beautiful. They really are. And the detail, I mean, I didn't say this with the vintage collection. The white isn't white, it's white on white. So it's got white with little ditzy prints. This isn't just a cream background, it's got leaves and spots. Honestly, the detail, even with your binding, it's not a solid tan. It's got like a mottle effect as well.
Yeah. Some of these are Moda fabrics.
Oh, wow. I thought, you know what?
The green and the red are both Moda
I
fabrics.
thought they were.
And a company that you don't see so much about nowadays is a company called P&B Textiles.
Okay.
And that's where this lovely little cream and sort of tan.
Yeah,
these
that's
little, you can't really see, but there are little leaves, and in between each of the leaves there's a little dot on the background, so it's not flat at all.
It's beautiful, isn't it? I mean, we've
It's one of
thought
my
about all of those different scales of print and textures.
Well done. Isn't that just beautiful?
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
There you go. That's why he gets paid the big bucks, Yvonne.
Well,
The Hollywood camera moves.
oh, he has his uses, you mean?
Yeah, he does. So that's just a bit of a recap. To remind you, 12th of January, you need to get the kits today. We had a technical difficulties where you couldn't buy them on the web earlier. You can now buy them on the website. You can buy them on the app. And of course, you can purchase them on the phone line. Now, are you ready? Because this is where, I'm so sorry, customer service team, you're about to be bombarded. These kits are some of my favourite ever in the history of Sewing Street. I love these. They look amazing. And like we said, when the sort of lockdown started, I know that everybody was, you know, making loads of food themselves. I've never made so many banana loaves, banana bread. But now, you know, it's really important, like you say, supporting local businesses as well. And we've started doing lots more takeaways and supporting the restaurants and pubs that aren't still open in where I live. So that's what it is, yeah. But how beautiful to do a really fancy takeaway night at home with these gorgeous placemats. Our Hannah, who is producer at Sewing Street, she is really passionate about Japanese culture. I'm very passionate about Japanese food, and I know lots of my friends are, so they would suit them down to a T. Now, are you ready? Before we talk to Yvonne about this, look at the price. How on earth? I think it's $17.99. Now, let me explain what you're getting. Your kits come from Village Fabrics. They come kitted together by Yvonne and her team, so you know that you're getting everything that you need. The fabrics are there, ready to go. Your beautiful Japanese-inspired prints, plus you're also getting your Insel Bright. Which is
it's insulated wadding. It's not actually Insel Bright, so.
But it's an insulated.
It's exactly the same product.
It's the one with the metal that's running through. So it's gonna, if you are using it.
It really works.
Perfect.
That's the.
Plus, then you've got everything that you need.
And then you have calico for the backing, and then that's it, I think. but there's enough to make 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Matching set.
Well, you can't just have one. That's a bit mean, isn't it?
Well, do you know, don't think I'd be able to have my dinner on this. I'd hang it on the wall. I think these are beautiful wall hangings. Or you could applique that onto a quilt, or I mean, there's all sorts you can do
all
with this.
sorts. It's a good shape. It's a good shape.
But there you go. If you have got your bowl, which is from Japan, isn't it?
That bowl is from Japan.
It's a lovely bowl.
You know, I think that's just represents how the craftsmanship that you get in Japan, because of the detail of everything is just finished off so exquisitely.
They've absolutely flown into baskets, by the way. Way over a quarter of the stock has gone already. Be aware that they will sell out. Before we start talking to Yvonne a bit more about the inspiration behind this design, I'll show you the red colourway. Now, this one looks like this finished. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. How about purchasing both, and then you've got enough for 4, because you can make 2 from each kit, and mixing and matching, they're going to look amazing together. So you get your instructions, plus you get your fabrics, including your calico for your backing, all ready to go. Now, this looks quite complex. How skilled do I need to be to, you know, how much experience do I need to have?
We've said it's 2 spools out of 5.
Yeah. Right, what does that mean?
That means confident beginner. I think if you can dressmake and you've done a little bit of quilting, you're going to be okay. Obviously, I'm going to go step by step through, not obviously able to finish everything off today, but show you where the more complex bits are. So it'll be fine.
Where did your inspiration for this come from? Like you said, you always make everything up, then you go through the instructions.
Yeah.
Where did this inspiration come from?
Do you know? I don't know. I was lucky enough to go to Japan about 3.5 years ago, and I really enjoyed the culture.
I could tell by your waistcoat that you
yes,
you
I do like a bit of hand stitching, so some sashiko squares on here. I love the detail, and I thought kimonos. Oh, I brought 4 kimonos back home.
You?
Oh, yes, I did take an empty suitcase, so it was okay. And I thought, what can I do with this? And I didn't like the idea of one big kimono on the wall, so obviously it had to come down in size. And initially I thought, as you were saying, wall hanging. And you can still make these into a wall hanging, just put a dowel behind them at the back and they'll sit up really nicely. But then I thought, it's not very practical, it's going to collect dust, let's do something that's a bit more useful. And my niece got married a year past now, and she was hoping to go to Japan for her honeymoon. As it turned out, she didn't get to go, long story. But I thought, if I could make a couple of placemats, wouldn't that be a nice little nod to their honeymoon? Because I didn't know what else to buy. So I ended up making placemats and buying some lovely little Japanese bowls for them. And that's where it all started. And as always, whenever it comes to making things where you need templates, I always like to give you a full-size template. So that kind of dictated the size.
Right.
So we could get it onto an A3 piece of paper.
Yeah.
And
So we don't need to worry about upscaling it again.
no, going to find somewhere where you can reproduce by 202%.
Yeah.
It's one of my pet hates, because really that's quite a difficult thing for a lot of people to do. You know, I don't even know. Does that mean it's twice plus a little bit?
I don't know. I
You know,
really
yeah,
don't know.
me too. So we always try and do a full-size template, but equally I didn't want to get too involved in piecing it too much, and so it kind of all came about with a basic design, you know, and then I love to fiddle. I twiddle and I fiddle.
So what's the bow around the
That is
obi, is it?
That is an obi. That is
Obi.
what you would actually, what the Japanese ladies would have around their middle, and they generally tie it in a lovely big bow at the back, and it kind of ties their sleeves in,
Yeah.
ties it tightly round their middle, because the big sleeves on the kimonos, they use as pockets.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So obviously we can't reproduce that on the, but just to gives you a dimension, actually. Allows you to put the false front in, hides a multitude of sins with that false front ends there, and allows you to just sort of, it gives you a waypoint, really.
Now, we will talk through the fabrics in a moment. Half the stock of the blue is gone. Again, massive quantity of the red is gone. If you want the pattern on its own, Wendy has said, I've bought the pattern on its own so I can use some of my fabric stash that I've bought from my visits to Japan.
Oh,
she said,
lovely.
yes, Yvonne, Japan is such a wonderful country.
Oh, absolutely. They have a culture where craft and artisans are respected.
Yeah,
You know,
I love that.
Me too. There's a great deal of emphasis on good manners, on doing things as to the best of your ability. You know, not just good enough, but to the best of your ability.
The pattern on its own is £8.50, £8.50, and that includes all of your written instructions plus your template, your full size template, ready to go. So if, like Wendy, you've got Japanese fabrics or fabrics that you think are going to be suitable already in your stash, then you can get the pattern on its own. But please do be very, very careful, because this hour has gone crazy. Well done everybody who's already checked out on any of the kits, because they're beautiful. We've also got lots of questions about you doing a waistcoat demo. Would you be able to do us a waistcoat kit and demo?
Well,
in the new year?
Well, let me think about it, because I only ever make them for me. You know, I can show you how I make mine.
Yeah.
And then I think it's probably up to you from there on in, because I don't profess to be a dressmaker. I can,
Yeah.
but it's not something I've ever taught anybody how to do.
We had loads of messages in the last hour, and we're getting more again this hour, so I think it's something we need to do. Right, so we've got about half an hour of on, so we better get cracking. Where do you want to start? Let's talk about the fabrics to start with, because they are beautiful quality again, aren't they?
Yes, the main fabric is printed in Japan.
Oh, wow.
And really comes in their country style. You know, it's not the bright shiny stuff, some of which I do like. And you've got a kimono made in sort of shiny stuff there, haven't you?
Yes.
So that's a completely sort of different colourway, because you've gotten bright blues and then light colours
Yeah.
on there. So that's something that if you have your own fabrics, it's another look. This is, I say, more country, more artisan based, and then it's a matter of just let me start talking you through.
Yeah.
You cut your paper pattern out, and you will see that it says fold line along the top edge there. If I do that, that'll make it easier. So there is a fold line. The only piece that you cut out to the full size is the main fabric.
Okay.
You then are going to fold that down and use the same template to cut your insulated wadding and your calico for your backing.
Right, okay.
Okay. Then you only need this for reference after that.
So it's more of a placement guide then?
It is. It's all things to all men, this one piece of paper here. So what I have here is I have this half made because there is a sequence. So you can see that my main fabric is sitting higher than my, let me move that, than my wadding and my calico. You sandwich those three pieces of fabric together. A little bit of 505 or some pins, because it's not a very big piece, or you can tack it together. I think I've used a little bit of 505 spray. You then need to join these 3 pieces together. So that's where you are talking about quilting. So if you're new to quilting, this is not difficult. I have simply stitched straight lines.
Right. So, like you say, it's a nice manageable project for someone who's.
Yeah, at this point, if you've done a little bit of dressmaking, you're okay.
Yeah.
Because you're simply cutting out around a pattern. You're popping some pieces together. Whenever you are quilting, if you have a walking foot for your sewing machine, then go ahead and put it on. Remember to lengthen your stitch because you're going through a fatter sandwich. So you probably want to set your sewing machine to a size 3 stitch in length. Walking foot if you have it, otherwise slowly,
Okay.
very slowly. And try, because it's not too big an item, so you shouldn't get any drag on it. If I turn it over, you'll be able to see the quilting lines more easily, I think.
Oh yeah. So you've just
Yeah.
got the straight lines.
Straight lines. That one's even a little bit wobbly, but you know, it's all okay. Now, once you have done that, I would make sure that I had a little bit of a trim around the edges because it will have just pulled in a little bit. So just a little tidy up around the edges. Then the next thing you do would be what you would do at the end of any other project. What you're going to do is you're going to bind now because you need to have finished edges.
How wide is the binding on this?
Well, 2 inches.
Okay.
2 inches because it's folded in 2. And this is where it's not difficult. Again, it's do it slowly. This is quite a reasonably tight curve.
So therefore, do I need bias binding?
No.
No? Straight binding's fine?
Straight binding is fine. I've done all of those.
Yeah.
And you have corners to go round. So what I thought I would do would be to just show you how to get round a corner. Pull it on up round here and attempt to do round this curve
That'd be good.
on the TV.
Yeah, which is a bit different, isn't it? Tele-sewing to home sewing.
Oh, absolutely. So whenever you come to the corner, I sew to within a 1/4 of an inch of the edge. I'm going to, let me do this, I'm going to flick it up that way and come back down this way. So I'm creating just a little bit of a pinch of additional fabric there.
Just come slightly to your left because the graphic's just covering it. There we go. Perfect.
Oh, right.
Thank you.
Okay, so I've just created a little pinch of fabric there that just allows me to get around the corner. So pop that under the sewing machine. I'm now going through 5 layers of bits and pieces. So my stitch length is up at 3. Right, so let me just get the pedal. There we go. This is a 1/4 of an inch seam I'm sewing.
Okay. And do you always do your binding onto the front of your projects?
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. Again, it's one of those things I'm a bit passionate about. I hate to see machine binding. It's a personal thing, okay? And I accept that for some people, binding is difficult as a hand sewing activity, or they just don't like doing it. It's one of my favourite things. I tend to stitch all the binding down, no matter who's made it at the shop. I stitch the binding down. It's my thing. So
When you get to this curve, because this is quite a tight curve, isn't it?
well, it is, but all I'm doing is very gently easing a little bit of fabric in. I don't even know that. You see, so couple of stitches, 1, 2, lift, turn a little bit.
So keeping your needle down.
Yeah. And I do literally mean 1 or 2 stitches. So if you have a speed control other than your foot for your machine, put it down to something that is a little more snail-like, not rabbit, yeah?
I used to forget when I first started, forgot that I was in control of the speed. I was like, I can't stop. It's like, take your foot off the pedal.
Yeah.
Slow down, you can stop, and you can breathe, can't you?
Yes, you really can. I'm not familiar with this machine. I'm getting more familiar with it. I can, at home on my own machine, I can take one stitch at a time.
Yeah.
And I'm getting to be that I could almost do that with this machine. But just, look, patience is the thing. And a couple of stitches at a time.
I think that's the most important thing to have, isn't it, in your sewing room, is patience. If you can just be patient with it and calm with yourself.
Yes, I think
Makes a difference.
there's a kind of like meditation thing about it, just
Mindful.
breathe. That's the word. Just breathe a few times. Certainly the same is very much true of hand quilting.
Yeah, right, okay. Do you do hand quilting?
I do. My fingers object to me doing it for too long, but I do enjoy the texture that I get from it. As you can tell, I'm going a little bit faster now because I'm on the home run. I'm on a straight run.
So then where do you stop?
Well, you come right up to the edge, so you don't have to worry about finishing off your binding.
Ah, okay.
Okay, let's lift that up. So we have created just enough. I've got some threads in places I don't want them, but that's okay. So
Come to your left, sorry, again. Perfect. Thank you, Yvonne.
So I have just created enough of a little pleat to be able to come round that corner. Sorry it's in black, but I'll make up for that in a minute. Then I'm up round here and I'm turning this. This, ideally, you should give your binding a bit of a press at this point to just flatten it out. And all I would do is I will trim that off in line with the top edge here. What some people don't know how to do is how to finish it off on the back. So I thought I would give myself a little bit of a challenge here.
Hand stitching.
Going to hand stitch in white thread on the black so that you can see what I'm doing, because I thought Elliot would not thank me.
We appreciate that, thank you.
So what
I'm nice and close.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is take a little stitch in my calico, come up into the binding and pull it through. And with a bit of luck, even though this is cream thread, you're not going to see it.
So what's this stitch called?
Well, this is a slip hem stitch. So you're slipping along in your under fabric. That's not this piece, yeah. So I'm taking a little stitch in there. I'm then going into the fold, which is why I've got my double binding. So I'm going along that in there. So I'm coming out about maybe 1/4 of an inch along. I pull that through and keep going. So now I'm going to take another stitch, and then the question is, well, how do I get round the corner? So
Just so you know, sorry Yvonne, the blue's nearly sold out. The red is your main graphic now.
Okay, I'm making the blue one.
Yeah.
We're going to just pull that little pleat to there. So we have the fold there. And just to hold that in place, I'm going to take a couple of little stitches up that fold. And in there. Okay, now that's not quite as neat, but if I then come back down there, I'm ready to proceed. So you can see where my stitches have been, and I'm just about to unthread my needle.
But if you were to use a coordinating colour, you wouldn't see that.
Well, whenever I tug it tight, you can see 2 little white dots.
Oh, so you
yeah,
can't even see,
I think I'm okay. So that is how you put your binding down, and that gives you such a nice finish.
And I think afterwards, once you've spent all the time, especially with big quilts, if you spend all the time piecing on your
absolutely.
sewing machine, doing lots of speedy sewing, it's nice to sit down in front of the telly and just do a bit of mindful.
That's my thought exactly. So let us assume that we have finished putting our binding on. Okay. So set that aside, and you have a piece to make. This is a 2-inch strip that I have right sides together, machined along the long side and one end, and I have turned it through. There are different tools for turning things through.
Yeah, we're all
many
familiar with
different
those.
things. Do whatever suits you best. I turned this through with a purple fang. But you know, there are many ways of doing it. So what I have now is the piece for my false front. And I've just remembered that I really need to finish that off. I'm going to have to pop some pins in, because you really do finish your binding all the way round and across the top. Okay, so what we're going to do across the top is turn it and turn it down. Now this is the point where if you wanted this as a wall hanging, you could tuck it in an additional piece of calico to provide a little sleeve across the back there. I'm just going to stick a couple of pins in in the meanwhile. These are my little applique, they're clover applique pins, which are
I've seen these before. They're really tiny.
They're about 1 centimetre long, but they are just so good for, well, one of the things I'm about to do. So let me just do that. Otherwise, you rip the side of your hand with the longer pins.
They all have a different purpose, don't they?
They do. So I'm just going to pop one more in. So, well, okay, this is where you have to use your imagination. We have to pretend this is finished all the way round, okay? So meanwhile, back with our placement diagram, okay? We will follow that to show where our false front is going to go on. So this is where it's going to start. It's going to go up there, stand up across the back and come down.
Nice.
And then our obi, which you have your piece of fabric in your pack to do. I've turned 2 edges in, 1/4 inch along each edge, tacked it in place because it is easier to manoeuvre. Okay, so that's going to sit in that position. But in the meanwhile, let me push that way and put that here. So I'm going to use this as my template. So I'm literally putting that on there, pulling that out, and that's where I'm starting with that. It's as simple as that.
Pin it in place. Are you pinning it?
I'm going to pin it in place. Now, the reason that I showed you how to do the slip hemming around the binding is because that is how I stitch this down. If you don't want to, if you're in a hurry, if you're making a lot of these, then you could machine up both sides.
Right.
But it doesn't give you that additional texture. It's going to give you a very flat finish if you machine it. So now we have to pop this back on here, and we'll see that we're coming up at the right angle. And I'm there. I'm going to turn that like that.
So do you turn that under then?
Yeah, it's going to the back. Let me put a pin in there, and I really should have done this in a different colour.
Well, if I show you on mine, on the red,
or,
you can see that really clearly.
Or on the cream one.
The red here and the cream, if I rub the cream and the red, then you'll see exactly what Yvonne's doing. So she started here and taken that all the way up to the top.
Yeah.
Created the corner here.
and that's just a little right angle fold, really, coming down there.
And then brought it back down again.
Yeah.
The red is your main graphic, by the way.
Okay. Pin that there. So we're now coming back to this end. We don't need to finish off because it's going to sit there, and that of course is going to be hidden by the obi.
Oh yes.
See, hides a multitude of sins. So somehow you attach this. So either with the slip hemming stitch that we'd use to put our binding down, which means you can sit in front of the telly and do it.
And like you say, that does add another dimension and more texture, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You suddenly have something that is no longer flat.
And it's not a project that's going to take you lots and lots and lots of time, so it's worth spending that extra.
Well, you know, get your quilt cut out. You're cutting out 2. Get your quilting done. You're doing 2 again. Get all your pieces assembled, and then you can sit in your armchair.
Yeah.
Which is, which is a really nice thing to do. We now have our obi. Again, that is going to sit there. Okay. So we have finished. Our unfinished end is in there. We want to just create this into the appropriate kind of angle so that
because it curves around the binding, doesn't it?
It curves a bit so that you have the impression of a sleeve.
Right, yeah.
Oh, I hadn't thought how dark these were going to appear. The blue one, of course, is my favourite because I do
love the blue. It's everybody else's favourite. I think it is about to sell out. Again, you can see on the red really clearly that curve that Yvonne is talking about. So you can see that shape that you want to create just by folding your fabric.
That all I'm doing is I tacked the 2 long ends so that it was going to stay in place. You could give it a really firm press and you would be okay. But with I thought with the tacking on there, that actually starts to show you what's going on. You can see the lines, and I'm creating just a little bit of an angle.
Elliot's turn the lights up a bit more so it's a bit brighter for you to see at home.
Yeah. I'll get my fingers out of the way any minute now.
The applique pins are actually perfect for this. I wonder whether we have them on the website.
You usually stock them.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
They are just so useful. So that's going to sit there. So I have, that's going to tuck in there. That's going to come round there. That should be tucked away. And again, this is, I really think you need to hand stitch the obi down. So again, I thought I would go over this stitch one more time.
Do you put a knot in the end of your?
I do, because I have somewhere to hide it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just going to go across the bottom edge.
Yeah, so you don't need to go through all of the layers for this. No, you're just catching that top blue fabric.
Yeah, I'm going to put it into the wadding below the face fabric.
Right.
Yeah. So I have a knot on the end of my thread, and as I say, again, I'm doing it with a cream thread. You would be doing this with a burgundy in this instance. As always, it's really important to have the right needle for the right job.
Right, so what is the right needle for this job?
Well, it's not this one. It's what I'm about to say, but it will do. You need something that is sharp and relatively fine. This is a little bit thicker than I would normally like to use, but I was limited by the number of needles that I had in my pin cushion.
Right.
But again, it does need to be sharp. I've pulled the thread up into the back of the OB piece of fabric. There's a knot on the end of it. I'm now going to go into the wadding behind the face fabric, and I'm going to come up in the fold of the OB fabric. Okay. Little stitches. If you go down vertically from where you have come out of the fold of the OB, then you are keeping the length of thread that is visible, even if it's a bad stitch, to as small a length as you can, and it just is going to disappear. So we're going back down in to the background at the same kind of position as we've come out of the OB, along and out. Okay.
It's worth jotting down today's date so you can watch that back actually on YouTube, because I think hand stitching is something we never get chance to sort of show on air actually, that finishing. And like you say, this is going to be the technique that you use finishing all of your binding on any quilt.
On any quilt. So you've cut out full-size template of your face fabric. Mm-hmm. Fold the piece over, and you're on your shorter length for your wadding and your backing, which is the calico. So 3 pieces of fabric, quilt through. Remember to lengthen your stitch. And in this instance, I have just used a navy blue, but if you have some more multicolored fabric, if you're buying the pattern, then think about using something that is going to contrast, that you are going to see. Do all of your quilting. Keep it simple, I think, because it's not a big piece. Then you're going to bind. So the binding is a little narrower than you would use on a quilt. You've got 2 inches of binding around here, but again it's a double binding, so you've folded it in 2 right sides to the outside, so you've got wrong sides together. Make sure your edges, your raw edges are even. Match it all the way around, gently easing around both the inner and outer curve. Little pinches on the corners. Go all the way around. Don't have to worry about joining the binding because it's simply going to form part of the folded fabric at the top. If you want to hang these up, this is the opportunity to put in a little sleeve of calico to enable you to hang it up and to combine it in with the finishing off of that top edge. You then have a nice kimono shape. To actually create that 3D effect, you want to make your false front, which is a tube of fabric. You've turned it through, and press so that the seam is on an edge, not on the back. So it's on the edge there. Follow the placement on here. This shows you where you're going to put your false front. So follow that around. You've got right angled folds at the top, as Vicky can show you clearly on the fawn coloured one there. That's creating your collar. Yeah, much clearer on there.
Lovely.
You're hiding the end of the false front under the obi, so you don't need to worry about finishing that end of this tube off. Stitch that in place by hand. You can do it by machine, you know, horses for courses. Then you're finally putting the obi on. I've pressed and then I have tacked because I did need to want to manoeuvre it a little bit on the sides. And again, it's a bit easier for you to see. But just creating that little bit of a curve starts to create these as sleeves.
I'm thinking if you want to embellish, and those of you that get the pattern on its own, which is your graphic at the moment, if you're using a plain indigo pattern, you could do sashiko on it, or you could do sashiko on your obi. You could embellish it as you wish then.
You can do some little folded squares and put them across the obi. You could, well, you want to stay flat.
Yeah.
If you're going to use it as a placemat, you don't want to put too much on. But if you want to maybe hang them up as 3 on your wall, then a bit of beading, a little bit of folded. Yeah. Oh, the sky's the limit. But I just think they're a bit of fun. You know, they're a bit of something special whenever you are eating in at home yet again.
Absolutely, you know? Exactly. You can make that takeaway into something really special,
I think so.
Can't you?
I think so. It's just, again, it's something that the Japanese would do.
I love that. It's very, when you think of Japan, you think it's so high tech, so far ahead of everything, but then they also have such traditional values and such amazing culture as well.
And you would have a placemat, and what I always found wonderful was the presentation then of whatever you were going to have to eat. You would have maybe 3 different bowls. They would all be different sizes and shapes, but then the colour would coordinate, or it would be all the bowls were exactly the same, you know, but everything was just thought through.
Oh, put me in the mood for a Wagamama's now. I really fancy a nice ramen.
Oh, I've got a sandwich.
Oh, I know, yeah. Well, our fridge went off yesterday, so I don't know what we've got for lunch today, but...
Well, I have builders in. Oh. So my freezer is kind of abandoned in the middle of a building site at the moment. But it's all going well. I shall update everyone as we go through.
Yeah, well, you've got to stay around because you're going to be filming part of your sew-along, aren't you?
So I understand, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
And
it's been so lovely.
It has.
When are you back on? Is it the 12th of
the 12th
January?
The 12th of January is the next one. So I get Christmas at...
Well, have a lovely Christmas.
I'm looking forward to it, spending it with my grandchildren.
Oh,
I'm lucky I'm going to be able to do that. I do understand that not everyone will be, so, you know, take care and be sensible over Christmas.
Of course, absolutely. Have a lovely Christmas, and we'll see you in the new year.
I'll be here on the 12th. It might be you again for the sew-along.
I hope it is. I'm really looking forward to it. And Yvonne is going to be filming part of it that you'll get the link for as well. We'll talk about that. Well, you can watch it back, of course, on the replay as well, and have a look on the web for the kits. Thank you, Yvonne. We'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon.
So, blue, sold out. Well done if you managed to get the blue. The red is available and half the stock is gone. I love this. I know sometimes when we're, you know, not demonstrating with the colour, it sometimes gets left behind. So don't let this one fall by the wayside because it's beautiful, beautiful fabrics. Gorgeous colourway, your pattern and template included, and as always with Yvonne and the Village Fabrics, of course you are going to get beautiful kits as well, including your heat resistant wadding as well. So you get everything that there is included for just £17.99 with your pattern. Now, if you want the pattern on its own, as I know a lot of people who do collect their own Japanese fabrics or different fabrics that they think are going to be suitable for this, then of course you can get the Village Fabrics Kimono Placement pattern on its own. Half the stock of the pattern on its own is sold out. Be quick to check out on this one. You've got all of your instructions, plus you've got your template, and today we've covered it all today. So jot down today's date and watch it back when you get your kits home. You can watch it back with Yvonne. Now, if you are watching on Facebook, jump over to the Yarn Lane Facebook page because we have got a brand new technique to Yarn Lane today. We've got punch needling, which is really exciting. I want to learn all about it. It's brand new to me too. We've got Sam from the Adventure in Crafting joining me in the next couple of minutes, so don't go anywhere. If you're watching on Freeview and Sky, stay where you are. Tomorrow on Sewing Street, live from 8 a.m, you've got a brand new presenter Do make sure you give her your biggest Sewing Street welcome. Wendy Gardner is the latest addition to the Sewing Street family. She brings a wealth of knowledge, so we're really excited to bring her on board. She's got bag making at the first hour. Obviously, you might have seen her books on our website. You might have her books. So get all of your questions in for her. Also, Cara Ackerman is going to be joining her. Have a look at this. Cara Ackerman is going to be there with the Ginger Melons Embroidery Cat and Bear. At 10 o'clock, you've got lovely Kerry and Wendy for Living in Loveliness. We've got so many beautiful kits coming up at 10 o'clock. That's, in fact, it's Liberty this time. It's not Christmas, it's Liberty this time. 11 o'clock, the Starburst tote bag with Cara. And then Kerry will also be joining us at 12 o'clock. And it's her birthday show. It's her birthday show. So do wish her happy birthday. It's been a pleasure to be with you on Sewing Street. Don't go anywhere though. Remember, we continue with another hour for Yarn Lane. So if you are watching on the web or on Facebook, tune over now. It's still the same account details and still the same postage and packaging. We're really excited to learn a brand new technique. Don't forget, everything is on pre-order on the Yarn Lane website. But I will see you on Monday on Sewing Street. So stay where you are. We'll see you in just a few minutes.